I was actually looking for that word, but I was missing it. So
Brunchy?
No, but that's a good word to look for us. Kaftanesque. Yeah, it is pretty kaftanesque, as a matter of fact.
All right. Let me find our other Facebook.
Yes.
Sorry, I feel like we need an assistant to do this for us, but we don't have an assistant.
We have to help ourselves.
We have to help ourselves.
There's of course a school of thought that says you should always help yourself.
Here we are.
Well,
okay.
Everybody needs a little help every once in a while.
Got it.
So, the fact is, we do plenty for ourselves.
All right.
You might be enjoying our newly painted room here, which is still coming together in parts.
What just happened here? Oh, that was.
What did just happen there?
Okay, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
I got it. I got it.
Thank you. Much appreciated. I almost had it.
Don't mind us.
I got us up on Facebook, but then we weren't there. Mm-hmm.
No, I gotta get us.
Actually, no, I'm wrong. We were there. We are there.
We are there.
You're watching us now.
We're there.
Yeah. This is an unusual time for us, so some of you who join us normally aren't here right now.
Oh my God, it did it again.
Wow. So just shooting it to the side there.
Anyway.
Anyway.
I give up.
The travails and things. Hey.
I give up. It's drink time.
Look at the bubbles.
It's drink
time.
We
got the bubbles.
Oh, and I can't read comments like the other day too. Okay, this is just...
Oh boy, big fun.
Hold on.
If you're posting, stand by. We'll get to you.
What the...
Here's one comment. Well, there was one comment. I tell you, it's always a challenge, folks. Always a challenge. And these socials change everything like every month.
Every month.
So that there's a new widget.
All right.
Try this. This is a big fun time.
Remember the other day I couldn't read comments? It's happening again. What did we do where we were able to read comments?
I think you clicked on that comment thing. And then you got the latest. So people had to repost that they had joined, which is ridiculous to ask your audience that.
This is crazy.
People jumped up and
this is crazy.
Guys. I think you're there.
No, I'm not. I can't. There's a comment and I can't read it.
I think we're there. You haven't actually achieved.
Calm blue ocean.
Shall I just start mixing?
Yeah, go ahead and start mixing.
That's probably good.
Go ahead and start mixing a drink, please.
We are here.
Oh my God.
We are here today to celebrate.
Oh, Doug. Hi, Doug. I got your comment.
Finally got your comment. Hilarious. Got one person.
Bang.
Let me start all over again, people. Maybe it's
Thank you, Doug, for commenting.
Hey, big fun happens, and you never know.
Two comments, and I can only read one of it. Do I have to hit?
Do you want to stop that entirely and start over?
No, because
no. I don't mean starting over the broadcast.
What's going on?
Like we had to do Thursday, Yeah, I mean, let me just relaunch the page.
No.
No. I know I don't
All right.
that.
No, because it's not going to change anything.
Okay.
What is going on here? This is so weird.
Maybe go off a full screen and take a look at it.
Okay, hold on.
Sorry for all of this, claptrap.
Wait, folks. No, I'm on full screen.
No, you're on full screen. Get off a full screen completely.
That's what I just...
Go back to the page. Check out the page itself.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get you to do. And can you see?
Hi, Mom. Okay, good. I can read your comments when I don't actually watch the video.
Maybe you don't need to see
all
ourselves.
All right. Hi, Mom. Oh, hi, Julie.
That's
Julie,
kind of okay.
I can see your comment. Yes.
This
is so stupid.
Every time a little thing changes here,
I am aware of how stupid this is.
It works differently. If some of you do videos, you're a little too understanding of this process.
And hello, YouTube people, too. There are no comments on YouTube yet, but I see you're watching, so hi.
Yes.
Happy Sunday.
Yes.
We figured this out.
We've got things going on.
Okay. Hi, Satellite.
Do you want to check out the second Facebook page, just in case people are there? Oh, why the hell not?
Do I want to be on Facebook at all?
Do I want to be on Facebook at all? It completely tanked on Thursday. All of you who joined us then will remember. Many of you were like, forget it, I'm going to YouTube. We were there.
Okay. No one's on my personal page right now, which is fine.
That's okay.
It's better to be on the Velveteen Lounge page. Okay. Hi, Amy.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Hey ho.
Good. Okay, it's a party.
Let's go.
We have fun people here. Let's have a drink.
We have fun, fine people here. So we're here.
Fine people.
So take 3.
Fun people.
After all of this travail, 5 minutes later.
We actually haven't started drinking yet.
No. Nor have we actually announced exactly what we're doing. I'm sure some of you are thinking, well, we know what you're doing. We read the title. But if you've just joined us out of the blue, we're here. There was a suggestion to do a little show about the work of Peter Sellers. And we thought, yeah, we can do that. Because there's so many great things that we can point to and go with. And there's so many pictures that people adore. There's great direction, a lot of Blake Edwards material. great scores, a lot of Henry Mancini material. Is that what you mean? A lot of Henry Mancini material. I've got the party happening over here. And the Panther.
Oh, that is the front.
Yeah.
It's just weird because I know it's 2 albums, but usually they'll have a big
splash. This one has the 2 albums side by side. This happens to be a combination of the party and Atari, and as a matter of fact, are 2 Mancini scores, but only 1 Sellers picture.
Doug is asking if that's a new stereo rack. No, it's the old one. We just painted it pink.
Yeah. I don't think you've ever seen the old one, though, so it's always been pink.
It was always shoved in the corner.
The only place we could put it was over there somewhere. But now when we move the room around and remove a very large piece of furniture, it fits. So now you can see the lot. And obviously we're prepared to play many formats.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Been playing a lot
and Pepper Tree Villa. Hello.
So nice to see you.
Arnie and Doug. Good to see you. Okay, good. People are commenting on YouTube too.
So
fabulous. Hi, David.
Mr. Sellers was well known for a wide variety of impersonations. Really enjoyed impersonating like upper crusty British types.
David, I don't know if you can have YouTube on the TV, but I don't think you can comment when it's on the TV. No. Like you have to comment on the computer, is my understanding.
So if you like a big screen, put it up on the TV. If you want to comment, go on your phone or your laptop and make that happen. 2, you'll have to 2 broadcasts for the price of 1.
That's right.
Unfortunately, the smart TVs do not work with you on that one. Wah, wah,
I know, it's not that smart.
Not that smart. I want to put this one more front and center.
Sniffly.
Happen to have some bubbles here, which is a good idea. Now, Mr. Sellers, of course, as I was saying, well known for his impersonations. He was, I think many people know him almost exclusively with a French accent. But then, of course, there's all the American accents he did. We just saw him the other day in Being There. And he's got this strange monotone, which apparently he patterned after his idol Stan Laurel. It works. It works very well for the picture. And of course, he's supposed to have like nothing going on here. So that's that thing. And then, of course, we just saw him yesterday and today in Dr. Strangelove yet again, which is always worth spinning again. And there he is playing 3 different accents.
We have the world of Henry Orient on the TV now.
Yeah.
But the sound is off.
I forget what accent he's doing there. Is Henry just English?
Hi, Janice.
Hello.
He sounded kind of Italian or something.
I have to tell you, who knows?
But he's not... But Henry Orient wouldn't be... I'm really sorry. Pardon me. I have got to
take care of some things over here.
I'm sniffly.
Henry, of course, if you haven't seen, is a fun picture because he's this concert pianist. There's a great sequence where he's playing some very modern music, and it's a really hilarious takeoff of 20th century music. And of course, he's being pursued by a number of women, including like 2 teenagers who are obsessed with Henry Orient. And that's part of the gag. I also pointed out that it was adapted for the stage as a musical in 1968 called Henry, Sweet Henry, featuring Don Amici in the title role. I forget who actually were the gals who were pursuing him in that. I don't know if they had like really long careers on Broadway after that. I forget. If you would like to take this over again. So we do have that going on just for a little inspiration. There's all sorts of great things like
no fighting in the war room, Amy.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room. What? You're going to let him in here? He'll see everything. He'll see the big board.
He'll see the big board.
We just saw the big board. Big board is pretty hilarious. Well, I thought that if we're going to talk about Sellers, I might just like work with some things which are a little familiar. Since this is brunch, I started with a brunchy concept. Brunch drinks are, of course, tend to be tall ones. Bloody Marys, gin and tonic, that sort of thing. Aperol Spritz is an excellent brunch style drink. It's a little light. You can definitely have 1 or 2 of those and not end up on the floor, but it'll give you a little inspiration. And what else is a really great tall one, like a Collins, that kind of thing. Can you have a martini for brunch? Well, of course, but it's brunch. You want to wait till the stomach wakes up a little bit.
We've heard of the 3 martini
really
lunch.
Get the hard stuff. But have you heard of the 3 martini brunch? It's Sunday, laid back. You're not trying to hit the brain hard. Big, tall things with fizz. Well, I think one of our favorite tall things with fizz things for brunch is...
This is a Christmas movie.
Is a gin fizz. Oh, it is. I never noticed
World
that.
of Henry Orient. It's a Christmas movie. And we just realized Dr. Strangelove is a Christmas movie, too.
Well, there's a reference.
Because when Slim Pickens says, to see we're flying any lower, we need sleigh bells.
Inspiration hits.
I know, it's like,
Those who do collect and make a collection of Christmas stuff every year, the wheels start turning. One of my favorite things to do for us on brunch is the Ramos Gin Fizz. Well, that's a classic. And I thought of doing it, but then she was saying, Sellers drinks. Well, how about a variation? Let's call this one the Sellers Gin Fizz. Sounds like a lot of fun. Happen happen to have a reputable gin right here.
He's making two, even though I'm going to get to my drinks.
You got to start with something.
Okay.
We'll be broadcasting
I'll
for a while.
start with the Cellar's Gin Fizz.
I will tell you a little trick about this drink. Make two, and I'll tell you why in a minute. First of all, I like to make for two because I don't like to drink alone. That sounds so sad. Well, it sounds like a good blues song.
I drink alone. Yeah, with nobody else.
Happen to be using the Bootlegger New York gin, which is made just right up the pike in Roscoe, New York, also known as the fly fishing capital of the world. Well, they have an excellent distillery, also a brewery, as a matter of fact. And they make really good gin, vodka, rye, bourbon, and what else now? And they make some craft gins that are like aged. They make some infused gins. I would reach for
See
one,
what else
but
they've
that
got
cart's over
going
there.
at the moment.
Next, you want to throw in about, where is my cellar?
You can go by there. It's a lovely place to go for a drink in the summer. They have an outdoor seating area. It's I highly recommend it.
Half ounce of lemon.
Roscoe, New York.
Roscoe, New York. Going with 2 tablespoons of half and half. That's about one
You have to
tablespoon.
hit.
That's about 2 tablespoons.
You know how you have to, when you go to a liquor company's website, you have to say, yes, I am over 21. I got carded the other day.
Really?
Well, you were there at the supermarket. And
I'm saying to the audience, really?
it was,
I was
we were
there.
using the
It was pretty amazing.
self-checkout, and we were buying beer. And we had our masks on because I think you still had to do that.
At that point in time.
But anyway.
Probably still. At that
The woman
supermarket.
said, oh, I need to see some ID. And I started laughing because I thought she was joking. And she wasn't.
She actually, you gave your
Okay.
birth date. You said, I need to prove that.
Ooh, bourbon cream.
Really? New York.
Beaver Kill
favorite
bourbon
Irish
cream.
coffee.
Prohibition's
Whoa.
making a bourbon cream.
And that's in a full-size
Yum.
bottle, too.
Yum, we got to get a bottle of that.
Okay. Big fun.
Yeah, okay.
So far I've got a shot of gin, 1.5 ounces. Got half ounce of lime juice. I've got 2 tablespoons of half and half, or cream. I think the original formula calls for cream. Whatever you got. I think half and half is fine. And then a whole half an egg white. A whole half an egg white. Yeah, half an egg white. Now that was a whole egg white.
Half an egg white for one drink.
Yeah. And you're saying to yourself, how am I supposed to split an egg white? You're not. You're supposed to make two. You're supposed to make 2 drinks.
I've done it.
Well, I just say, you know what? I'm not even going to bother trying. Make 2 drinks.
I've done it when I'm baking. Like half a recipe and it calls for 1 egg. I'll just, eggs are all different sizes. That's when a recipe says 1 egg. It's like, well,
regular size egg, the normal egg.
They're different sizes.
There's a jumbo egg. There's a super jumbo egg. They are. Dash of orange bitters. Happen to have Angostura. You can also use Reagan's. Excellent. Fees is excellent. And the kicker. Let's make this a little more English with some Pimm's. And let's go for a half ounce of that too. I've never actually tried this in a Ramos, and I think it will add a pretty fun bit of flavor.
Pimm's cup is traditionally known as you have that when you're playing croquet.
If you make the Pimm's cup according to the instructions back here, another tall, cool one, another good brunch drink, another fairly light one. This is Pimm's number 1. Apparently there used to be 5 of these, and I think this is the only one that is either made anymore or that you can find anymore.
Is there still another one? Amy says I was reading a recipe for Aperol, Campari, and tonic. I'd love that.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be really good.
Yeah, Aperol will actually talk about you can make it with fizz, you can make it with tonic, and of course the Aperol spritz also involves the bubbles. So now that I've hobbled this together in an egg white, you remember the whole business about stirring versus shaking? You can't stir this. The egg white will never emulsify. So what you need to do is grab your shaker, grab a bunch of ice from your bin.
Well, in drinks with cream, you're supposed to shake very vigorously.
Now, add a whole bunch of ice, a whole mess of ice in there. And the original instructions for a Ramos have you shaking this for something like 15 minutes. Well, I think at that point your ice is long gone and the drink's getting warm.
That's why we have blenders.
Which is ridiculous. A blender does all of that work. I'm going to do what I normally do and shake this.
In another room?
Yeah, so I'm not just like rattling ice at you for forever and a day. Okay.
Oh, he's going to set the timer.
I'm going to set the timer and shake this for exactly 2 minutes. Does that sound a little mental? Well, I don't have a second hand on a clock around here, so I'm just going to do that, and when I'm done, I'm done. And away we go.
It's nice and loud, isn't it?
The great thing about like all of that shaking is that the audience gets to listen to it for as long as I do. Of course, it's in my ear. I gotta wonder about bartenders. I gotta wonder about bartenders if they do this like all night long. Does the right ear start to lose high end? You know. I'm gonna go walk about.
Yeah, I wish you would. It's really loud. So does anyone else have a brunch drink going? Well, I don't actually have a drink yet, but is anyone making a brunch drink? Are you planning to make a brunch drink? What are you planning to make? I'm very curious. I usually love a mimosa. I can't actually have orange juice at the moment, so I have some other bubbly drinks planned, which will be, oh, you can't even see it. I have the ice bucket here, but yeah, anyway, I got the bubbles right in front of me. But planning some bubbly drinks. So I want to hear about brunch drinks and any Peter Sellers movies you particularly love. As he was saying, we watched Being There in preparation for this. A Shot in the Dark, Dr. Strangelove, which we watch fairly regularly. Got World of Henry Orient on. I love Being There this time. The last time I'd seen Being There, I was a kid and I didn't get it at all. I thought, oh, that's funny, ha ha ha, but didn't get it. Now I think it's hilarious and extremely timely for our era. Just if you haven't seen it in a while, I recommend it. It's very funny and disturbing and weird, but I love that nothing bad happens to Chauncey. You're done.
That's it?
Yep, you're done. Spoiler alert, nothing bad happens to him, but it's just, if you haven't seen it, I recommend it.
Oh, which one?
Being There.
Oh, yeah, of course. One little recommendation, if you're going to be shaking up a cocktail for 2 minutes, this is going to start freezing your left hand. So a glove is really not a bad idea. Actually, this little half glove is quite useful. I'm going to let that rest for a second and grab the glassware.
I think you could take off the glove now.
This is for effect. It also allows me to hold on to the glasses
It's for
easily.
effect.
At this point in time. Now, once you've done all of that shaking up this business, you'll find that you've got one hell of a lot of foam.
Hi, Bill.
So, I need to pack
Good Sunday
this.
to you.
Pack this with some more ice. I think it's going to be easier for me to grab ice from here.
I have all this ice in here.
What's ice? Yeah,
Oh,
the
well.
bubbles in it.
Oh, well.
Well, we should have pre-packed it.
I've been talking about Being There. Shot in the Dark, of course, is hilarious. I mean, Being There is hilarious, too. Being There is really funny, but it's also, it's pithy. It's got piff.
Yes.
It's got the piff.
Got the piff. All right, so resting for a second, and then you pour into your glass here. Wow. It has reposadoed. That's a really terrible mutilation of two languages.
Yep.
Yep. And here we go, and then let's get some foam in there, because we bothered to get all that foam in there.
Foam.
See, that's awfully foamy because of the egg white.
Yep.
It's a classic trick with drinks is if you throw an egg white into there and you shake it up like whiskey sour, then you'll end up with all of this foamy top. There used to be products you could use to throw into your...
Foamy head, like a beer.
Foamy head, like a beer. There used to be products you could use to throw in there that would make the foamy head fairly suspicious chemical combinations.
Bill met Peter Sellers.
Oh, wow.
The London Playboy Club. That's fun.
Oh, wow. Well, that's kind of fun. Playboy Club itself is very vintage.
Yeah.
And, you know, he himself was a real character. He's known for having a fellow with like some interesting issues, but you know, brilliant, absolutely brilliant with what he did. So, in fact is, hey, we all have our thing.
Use a spoon. You'll want to get every drop. Oh, it's dripping down the side of the glass.
Whoa! It is, or is that inside?
Right there.
That's inside. That's good. And
Whew.
for the resistance piece, you're not quite done yet. Top with some seltzer. This is pretty new, so I'm going carefully. And to make it even more Little English, I'm using ginger seltzer. So that, at the end of the day...
Looked like it wanted to overflow.
You pour it carefully and just let it rest. And you've just reached the top. And now you have a beautiful, tall, fizzy drink with some unique ingredients in it. Add straw. Happens to be a Trader Vic glass, so I'm going to add a Trader Vic stirrer.
Look at that. Right
and
to
look
the
at
top.
that beautiful presentation.
Woo.
Well, that's all part of it, folks.
Yay.
I'm prosit to you.
Cheers.
Slim Jim.
Or as we started saying for some unknown reason, cheers.
Oh, that's quite nice.
Cheers.
It's very good with the Pims. Yeah. Yeah,
Yummy.
I'm liking it. I like a straight up Ramos, just for a brunch drink. I think it's fantastic. But obviously you could vary that quite a bit because there's not too much happening in there. A Ramos also adds orange flower water. That's your magic ingredient. So you get like a very floral and
But you didn't
good
do
orange
that
punch.
in this one.
I did not. I left that out.
No.
I did use orange bitters, which I thought would be a good idea with the rest of this. And the Pims I'm definitely getting. The Pims is actually an infused gin. It's got a lot of other flavors added to it. It's not type of liqueur. So, very nice.
Lovely. Lovely.
This is a lovely afternoon thing. I could see just watching a few rounds of tennis. And I'm not even a big tennis fan. But I'm a fan of this. So there you go.
I'll just have it and not watch tennis.
Mm-hmm. If I happen to have some of those Playboy stir sticks on hand, we do have a
We do
selection
have
of those,
some.
then I would have had to go over there, and that's a bit disconvenient right now because of the setup. Then I would have thrown one in because Bill was talking Play by Club. But there is the London Trader Vic's, where you probably might have seen Mr. Sellers at some point in time. Who knows? Hard to say. Big fun. So that's a Sellers Gin Fizz. Just threw all the ingredients at you. It's a good thing. I recommend it. And, you know, I don't think any of these things is particularly hard to find. Pims is available in your average liquor store.
Mm-hmm.
You can certainly, I used a reputable gin. Use whatever gin you've got that you like. Obviously, ginger seltzer is not necessarily the most common thing, but those flavored seltzers are very big right now. This one is just a house brand from our supermarket, but I think some national brands have picked up on that, and it's a good idea. And I was inspired also by the Stone's ginger wine is an English product. We're completely out of that, but that's an interesting little mixer to use. So I thought ginger, yeah, that works.
All right, just
decompressing a little. After all the fun of launching this broadcast.
I guess you just can't. We can't have the video open and see the comments, which is just a new thing since like last week.
Yeah, new and fun
on Facebook. So thanks, Facebook.
Thanks, Facebook. Really made life fun.
I know. Whatever, I can see them now.
You make things happen in a way that I can't even explain. I wish you wouldn't. Put it back here.
So what's anyone doing this weekend?
For the rest of the weekend, we still have some. We have plenty to do ourselves. Lots of things going around here. You've certainly seen this new color is potentially brand new to some of you. Some of you have seen this in a few episodes by now. It's a great, great shade. You found this one.
I love it.
And you, of course, picked it off of this ice bucket here. So we redecorated the room.
Well, they can't see the ice bucket, but you've seen it. You've seen it.
You've seen it before.
You've seen it. I've shown it to you.
Perfect. Ooh, this ice bucket. That's
oh my gosh.
Good thing.
I'm like so worried something's going to happen to it at this point. Like now I'm stressed about the ice bucket.
Well, you know where to get an identical one.
I know.
But
I'd have to go back to Cleveland.
I think it's going to cost you a little more. I'm just estimating, but I think we're right.
But I like Cleveland, so
I'd go back to Cleveland anytime.
That was not a Cleveland diss.
No, there's plenty happening in Cleveland. We had a very good trip this last time.
Yeah.
We had a great trip our prior visit, and I would return. And this time, we were searching around for a lunch place and found all sorts of terrible options on, I think it was Friday we were looking around, correct?
I was so hangry.
And you were getting pretty hangry, and I thought, find me the nearest place that can actually do it. We found a recommended place as a road food place. They were a half-hour wait. Forget that.
It was like a half-hour wait for a place that had basically like
sandwiches,
pastries and coffee and stuff. I'm like, no.
Not that kind
but
of
I was hangry. You got to understand at this point, I was really hangry.
So we just drove towards our first destination and said, what are we going to find? I spotted a place. We go in. This was great. Just a little like real nautical themed, very old school clubby joint. Guy was at the bar drinking Manhattan. We're like, this is our place. That's it. And they had some really fantastic seafood bits.
You can tell it's our place. Whenever we walk into a place and we're the only people there under the age of about 70, it's like we found our place.
You found our place. It's kind of place that Linda's watching. You would have loved this place.
Oh, yeah.
Really.
It was
like, dark wood banquettes and really cool looking bar and just like this very old building that looked like it used to be a bank. So I wouldn't be too surprised. Near the lake, as I recall. And very near our next destination that day.
Bill says Trader Vic's in San Francisco was always fun. One of her memorable dinners was with Anton LaVey, Jim Jones, Herb Gain, and George Moscone before he was... What? Was that all the same dinner?
Wow.
Wow, that would be memorable.
George unfortunately met a tragic end in San Francisco, as I recall. Jim Jones met a tragic end by his own. I was going to say that was his own fault. But Anton, I believe, left by rather peaceful means, considering the whole thing. Oh. But interesting.
Happy birthday, Dean!
Oh, hey!
Jenna says Dean's birthday's today, so we're doing BBQ, chicken enchiladas, grilled veggies, and then made a lemon cheesecake. Yum! I bought cocoa bitters last night. Going to experiment with them in drinks today. Well, I can't wait to hear how that goes. That sounds good.
When's dinner? I'll be over. I'll bring the drinks.
Birthday.
I always say that. I don't mean I'm going to burst in on your party. Have a great time. But if I did, I'd bring
drinks. You totally would burst in on your party.
I'd bring a bottle. That sounds marvelous. That's absolutely awesome. I'd love to do that. We've made some great things lately. You made an icebox cake for Friday's episode.
That came out great.
Graham crackers, which it sounded like that might be a little bland, but no, that worked out well. Worked out really well. Yeah, I softened right up, real good.
Oh,
we still have some of it.
I was about this room. When it's done, we'll make a video.
Yes,
we'll do like a video tour, but it's not quite there yet.
We're getting there. You'll see a large, expansive wall back here that needs pictures. Well, they're coming.
These chairs will be replaced by a love seat.
That's coming.
So, yeah, we just got a few little things to do.
Can't currently hook up that
sound Janice, system. Come on over. Thank you.
Come on. Oh, thank you. Much appreciated.
Love to.
Hey, if you're in our area, if you know you're going to be in our area, and you're interested to see us.
Oh, okay. Bill says George had invited us. Okay, that sounds memorable.
Wow, that's very cool. Who was the other? Oh, Herb Gain. He was a classic, too. He was one of those guys who used to be on the beat. And you see his name turn up on album covers, and he did a gazillion columns. I think he had a finger on the pulse of San Francisco. So there's a lot going on there. Very old school guy. Kind of a great guy to share a scotch and soda with.
Scare a shot and
soda
with.
If you've had a few scotches and sodas, that's what we'll be talking like.
Scotch and Skoda.
Oh, yeah. We moved the sound system. You can see it now. I don't think you were able to see it before because it was over there.
Not that it's...
We were over there.
I'm one of those people who's like, I don't need to see all the components. But it was really... Buried before. So it was buried because
that was the only footprint it fit in. And I said, I can make that compromise because I don't need to see the sound system. I need to hear the sound system. So we did. The only reason you ever need to see the sound system is if you've invested in some expensive vacuum tube equipment and you want to see the tubes glow. So, yeah, fine, you do that.
If we had vacuum tube equipment, I would, cheers to you. If it was really cool looking. Well, you're working on...
Working on a really nice piece.
Amplifier or something?
Receiver
that he's been working on for like 10 years?
Fisher receiver, it is operational. It has been operational for 8 years now, and it works well. And it's a beautiful receiver. It really pulls in the stations. And you think, who needs to pull in
that could be on display. I would be happy with having that on display.
However, the wooden case is really shot, so I do need to get that worked on. I don't know whether I need to have that rebuilt or have somebody put new veneer on. If you know any leads, let me know. If you know a good woodworking person, I would be glad to talk to people. I know it's not cheap, and you know it is worth it because it's a beautiful piece. I've gotten the rest of it working, more or less. Even built a remote control for it.
Bill says they met Herb many times.
Yeah. He was around. He was one of those guys who was just... I think he would have been there for the horse races, and he would have been there for, like, Moby Grape. It's just like, oh, what's this? Some, like, young bunch of punks from the valley? Oh, what's up? Okay, sure. You know? That's the nature of the city. Right? I think that is one of my, like, top 3 cities ever. Great, great walking city. really love walking around San Francisco. And I know it's a bit of exercise. It's all uphill. But we have
uphill both directions.
Both directions. We have good friends there, and they've introduced us to all sorts of fun things like the quote-unquote crookedest street in San Francisco and the actual crookedest street in San Francisco. I love that. It's hilarious. And, of course, it was the setting for this particular gentleman is a big fan of the movie Vertigo, which is heavily set around San Francisco, like a love letter in San Francisco. And he pointed out all the shooting locations around there, which is really cool. You know?
And he lives right by it.
He's very close.
So that's kind of fun, too.
He lives right across from the church where, like, the protagonist goes to, like, visit the woman he's after. He's kind of pursuing her. So that itself was a little. Did you choose your living location based on the shooting location?
Yeah, he did.
So he found.
He said he did.
And he found a great apartment, fantastic place. So hey, you cannot beat.
Don't forget the bottle.
Let me tell you something. I never forget the bottle because that's a hospitality. If you're going to invite me to your home, then I'm going to bring a host gift.
Hi, Mark.
That's just politeness.
Mark is watching from Fayetteville, Georgia.
Hey!
Welcome.
Hello, Fayette. I am so glad to see you here. Awesome.
Good to see you.
We are having
Happy
a
Sunday.
brunch broadcast, of course. What is in your brunch glass?
Yeah. Brunch.
Brunch. You know, he starts with
No,
this.
we
did eat.
breakfast. We ate.
The last time we did one of these, I was still preparing food and I brought it over. Obviously, that's a little crazy on a day like today. So we ate, had like a really great rancheros, which I happen to think is an excellent breakfast. If I make it a little fancy, we'll do Benedict, which sounds a lot more fancy, but isn't that?
I wondered if we'd have eggs Benedict today, but we didn't. It's okay.
Well, we're thinking
it's
about
okay.
all sorts of things.
Fine.
Yep, no,
I'm
it's
kidding.
okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about me, she says.
Oh my gosh, one of your school chums was O.J. Simpson.
Oh, man.
You know so many interesting people, Bill. Hilarious.
Fun. Big fun all over. We're still talking about the life and times of Peter Sellers. Happen to have brought a few props over. A lot of people remember this picture, and I think there's a whole bit with him where he had some issues with some directors, and I think he didn't work in Hollywood for a while. But then the Pink Panther franchise got revived, and it's just the first one that kicked it off because there's Return of, Revenge of, and there was another one from the 80s, I think. I forget what that was called. And David Niven is in at least a few of these things, which is great. Who else is in this? Christopher Plummer, Catherine Schell, Herbert Lom, of course, Chief Inspector Dreyfus, the long-suffering Chief Inspector Dreyfus. Even in A Shot in the Dark, he's going completely insane and ends up as a complete madman. I recall in the last of the pictures that he basically has this mad plot to take over the world, and he has this laser beam and everything. It's just nuts. I think that
OJ's dad was a female impersonator?
Really?
I didn't know that.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting.
Wow. Okay.
You don't know about. But Sellers, of course, took on these roles with a bit of aplomb, and they did bring back a lot of members of the cast. I think Hercule returns a lot. He's a really great character actor. The aforementioned Herbert Lom really does suffer in these things.
Elizabeth is having mimosas to start, then French 75s with gin and Pierre Franc cognac.
Oh,
perfect.
Hello. Well,
perfection.
You've got the whole gamut right there.
Yeah.
I happen to enjoy them both ways. And if you're ever in New York City, which is beginning to open up again to such traffic, and you say, I think a classic place to get such a drink, I would say any of the hotel bars should be able to whip that up for you easily.
Yeah.
But the place that we know that makes it well is Sardi's. Sardi's is the theater bar.
Hopefully Sardi's is
I hope
reopening.
that they're still kicking it, because you go to their upstairs bar, there's a gent who has been doing their bar for a long time. And you say, yeah, like a French 75. He knows what you're talking about. And his next question is the question you should be asked.
It says opens at 7 p.m., so I'm hoping that means that they have reopened.
Like today they'll be open at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
I mean, I know
it's
like...
It's one of my favorite places in the world.
It's... At this point, it can be a little touristy, but if you go to the upstairs bar,
It's just lined with all of these caricatures of celebrities.
But not just that. I mean, like, there are, like journalists and stuff up there. Like, still to this day. Unless, I don't think it was the last time we were in there. I think it was the second to last time we were in there. We're sitting at this table, and Paul had just gotten off of work. I had just gotten off of something, and we met there. And, you know, there's this table, and it's like all these people that sort of look like executive types, but there's this woman there. And I'm looking at her trying to figure out, like, do I know her?
I know you.
And she's looking at me like,
yeah,
don't come up to me. And I was like, I wasn't going to. I don't do that. I don't go up to people, you know, celebrities or whatever. I don't do that. But I was just like, that's Christine Baranski. That was how, okay, I was like, okay, got it.
And it was. This is the kicker. All sorts of people have hung out there for years. Their pictures are on the wall, all these caricatures. But Broadway people still actually hang in Sardi's after a show. So you'll be there like after last curtain, and the place is rocking. They have great little bar nibbles. They have full dining in their dining room. I think you can get a full plate of food at the bar if you like. Yeah,
well, they have a bar menu.
They do, and there's just great stuff. And if you, this is my kicker. You go up to that bartender and you say, "Yeah, I'd like a French 75." What's his next question? The correct question: gin or cognac? And
most places will just give you whatever they feel like giving you.
And a lot of places would think, well, French 75, so it has to be a cognac drink. Mm-hmm. But the original formulas by this, it was a gin drink. It's a great gin drink. I happen to really like it with the cognac as well. So we don't often have cognac on hand. In fact, I'm not sure we've ever had cognac on hand. So
no,
I just use a really good French brandy.
We don't at the moment, but we have.
Yep. Armagnac would be apropos as well. Absolutely. But if you've got a nice cognac, by all means, use it. There, of course, is the Ferrand Dry Curacao, which is an excellent thing to use in your sidecar. So if you haven't tapped into that yet, please. But I'm not sure we've tried the actual Ferrand brandy, interestingly enough.
Yeah, I don't know if we have either.
I don't think we have.
We always have their dry,
yeah. We
usually have their dry curacao on hand.
Do not at this particular point in time, but we have in the recent past.
We like to keep that on hand. That's a good one.
Yeah, if we actually kept it on hand, we wouldn't use it, but since we use it, it runs out, so we don't at the moment. It's a really good product. That was actually a co-brand between Ferrand and David Wondrich. Actually talked to him and said, I found out like a classic formula. Could you make this? They made it.
I'm trying to run down.
Really nice curacao.
You know, when we did the Dregs bottle happy hour a couple of weeks ago, we're trying to get rid of old bottles, which we did, but we still have a couple more to get rid of.
A couple of annoying bottles over there, but we
almost
empty. Killed about 7 bottles within the past 7 days, which sounds like a full 750 would be insane. But at least had a finger.
No, they were mostly empty.
He had a finger in each. It's like you got a half an ounce. Kill that bottle, will you?
OJ's Dan's did Finocchio's, a drag nightclub. Oh, I had no idea. That's so interesting.
That's hilarious.
That's so funny.
Would you like to mix something? I'm out.
Are you? I'm almost out.
Mm-hmm.
He beat me.
What do you know? It's a tall one.
That came out wrong.
It's fairly light. It only has 1.5 ounces of the liquor, and it's got a lot of fluid in it. You could really take your time with this guy here. You could repeat this order. That will be fine.
Nope, I have another idea.
But I seldom repeat an order because there's so many drinks to get through.
What I was about to say, well, never mind.
Never mind.
I repeated the other day, and I was happy I did. We usually don't do that. Like, if we have something like, I'll have something else the next round. But I was like, you know what? I'm enjoying this. I want another one. And it was the right decision.
Hey, look, I'm just that way. I don't have one drink. People ask, what's your drink when you go to a place? I think it depends on where I am. Mm-hmm. You know, if I'm between acts at a theater, I can't order anything. They won't be able to make a fog cutter. They don't have all the ingredients. And they need to mix fast and hard. So it's like, scotch and soda or scotch and ginger. Bam, that's my theater drink. They can do it. It takes 4 seconds. Throw your card at them and you're done. And if you're actually in an old school bar, I would say something like sidecar. You can do that? Oh yeah, they know what you're talking about. French 75, sure. If you're in New Orleans, you could ask for a Blue Carré, and the bartender will know what you're talking about, and it's a great drink. So that's the thing. It depends on the context.
Yeah, I like them all. If I'm going into an old school place, I'm usually between a martini, a Manhattan, and a sidecar.
Yeah.
And then if I'm having a second round, a French 75.
if I were in the aforementioned San Francisco and it were a typical foggy night, maybe it's, I was about to say maybe it's October. Maybe it's any time of the year. It could be like fairly clammy any time of the year in San Francisco, which is great. I happen to have grown up with that kind of weather, so I really appreciate it. And you walk into some old school like seafood joint, and there's a bar, and the guy can make you a drink, and you might just want like a couple of fingers of single malt scotch. I don't know, something appropriate for what you're doing.
The funny thing is, people ask me, like, if you could only have one cocktail again for the rest of your life, what would
you do?
And I usually say a margarita. And I didn't mention that at all at any of these places. Like, I love a margarita, but I love a really well-made margarita. Yeah. Like, I'm not talking about a margarita from a slushy machine. Although, in the right context, that can be okay. I'm
not going to slag off the slushy machine. We've even been in a place where we saw them mixing the slushy machine.
That was
and what they were using was
it was so bad.
Fairly bottom shelf. And we drank it. You know, it was entertaining.
I think we were, you know what? I think it was before.
Was that before AIDS Walk?
No, it was before the Pride Parade.
Oh, the Pride Parade, that's right.
The Pride Parade in 2019. We were in the Pride Parade. So we're like, oh, we're early. Let's go get a couple of drinks. So we went. Sorry, my nose is dripping again. This is terrible. This is terrible.
Oh. Hey, look, we tore this place apart very recently.
So gross, pardon me.
And scared up a ton of dust because we painted the joint. We cleaned it up, taped up, painted the joint. So,
pardon me.
Obviously, this is also still off-gassing from paint.
So anyway, we were in said bar, which shall remain nameless, although we love it to pieces.
I would go there again in a minute, and I'd probably order a margarita.
And, yeah, and we're sitting right by this huge vat, which was the margarita vat, and
big slushy machine.
The guy has 3 bottles in each hand, 3 open bottles of tequila. So he's dumping all these bottles in at once.
6 bottles, 750s is fairly heavy.
And then he dumps in this
pretty impressive
tragic sour mix. It was just.
Oh,
it was
the bottom shelf.
It was kind of like I was sorry I was watching it.
The bottom shelf of triple sec went into this drink.
Yeah, it was like the cheapest triple sec you could buy, like Lord's or something. It was just.
I think it was Lord's, and I know where Lord's is made. I used to pass that distillery every day on the train. Low rent. This is not quality.
It was pretty bad.
I will slag off Lord's. That's pretty bad stuff. There are many other brands out there that I will not actually. I don't care if they're middle shelf; they work perfectly fine. The aforementioned Ferran Dry Curacao is in a different league and is a highly reputable product for your sour, of course.
I remember I was also having canned Prosecco.
Oh, yes.
I realized they had canned Prosecco, and I was like, oh, I have a can of Prosecco?
That was actually made by...
That was the Coppola.
Yeah.
The Coppola winery.
It was like the...
it was like Sophia.
Sophia Coppola canned Prosecco.
Yeah.
Which is very good.
Yeah.
You know? So, honestly, if you see that on the shelf at your liquor store, give it a try. You know? There's a lot of these cans out there that are quite reputable. Worth trying.
But the funny thing is, we're like, oh, we're going to get all these drinks and go do Pride, and it'll be fun. We had to wait so long to march at the Pride Parade that I was like, we should have gotten a lot more drinks. We got there, and we had to wait, I think another at least 2 hours.
Oh, at least.
To leave our holding area. So I'm like...
I believe it was more like 4 hours.
We should have gotten more drinks.
I think the fact is that the next time we do this, I'm going to smuggle in some things.
Bring a flask.
Because everybody who is going to be hanging with us at this thing will appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, everybody, you got your sippy cup?
No, they were all...
Let's fill it up.
They were all fun people. We could have brought a flask and some cups.
I think I'll have a backpack. You know, they have that thing.
Next year.
They have that thing, the wine rack that you can wear. And then there's the wine gut. You can actually just have a backpack full of stuff. One of those tankers where you can just get a tap and spigot it out.
Flask.
Because I would so bring 4 or 5 bottles of Prosecco if I could keep them really cold.
Yeah.
All you need is dry ice. The problem is I'll be smoking. My backpack will be smoking the whole time. People will be looking at me askance at a huge event.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be okay with that. But...
There's kind of a problem there. You got to be more creative than that. Cans.
It's time for more drinks.
Time for the cans. We have some Prosecco in front of us. Are you going to use it?
Yes.
Then I will pop it.
I'm trying to decide. I have 2 in mind.
Keep it cold.
I have 2 in mind. I'm trying to decide whether I want to make a Writ of Phyllis Jage.
You want her to make that now,
or
don't
the
you?
Chauncey Gardner.
Either one will do.
They're both Prosecco drinks, so let's see. I bet I could use up. No, never mind.
Not gonna happen.
I think I'll do the Chauncey Gardner first. Although I just love the name A Writ of Phyllis Jage.
Who doesn't? I love that sound.
Of Phyllis Jage. And if you get that one, let us know.
Please.
That reference.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see.
Do you need a flute?
I need 2 flutes. Are I making one for you?
Well, why don't you?
Okay.
I made one for you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
2 flutes.
The Chauncey Gardner.
I'm fluting.
Inspired by being there.
Mm-hmm.
I could use that. Yeah, that.
Yeah, that.
Thank you. All right.
I bet you could use this.
If you wouldn't mind holding this. Wow, that was really dim. You know what? Go back to this. Hold on. I just gotta do something real quick.
Okay, sorry.
This video is not as dark as we thought it was. Our computer was on dark mode.
Ah!
No wonder everything looked dark.
Corrected that, eh?
It dimmed it to like half of capacity. So for the Chauncey Gardner,
I know what's coming up.
all you do is start with 1 ounce of Empress 1908 gin. And I'm doing this, I know you can't see it, but I'll hold it up, in a champagne flute. 1 ounce. And I'm doing 2. All right. And I'm being neat and not pouring on my dress.
If you took a 1/2 ounce measure.
Okay.
There you go.
We haven't had that. The cap's not all the way on that, so.
No, it is.
All right. So far we're up to 1 ounce of Empress 1908 gin.
The Empress, of course, is tinted with the
That's why I'm
flowers.
specifying.
So, of course, it has a nice purple color.
A 1/2 ounce of ginger liqueur. I recommend Barrow's Intense because
It lives up to its name.
it is very gingery.
Really, really potent. Watch our
Yes.
episode from, I guess it's 4 years ago
1/2
now,
ounce.
and you'll see them making it. They grind up a ton of 2 different types of ginger, and they infuse it, and that's how they make it. And then you actually like sweeten it up and cut it to strength, and you've got your liqueur. The ginger flavor really hits you. I happen to love that.
I love ginger.
So if you like ginger, check out Barrow's. See if you can
1/2
get a bottle.
ounce of that.
If you cannot find it at your local purveyor, demand it. Go in there and say, "Get the Barrow's, will you? Get real."
Demand the Barrows. Okay. A 1/2 ounce of, okay, so right now it's still
Nice and purple.
a beautiful color.
So here's the
It'll
special.
be another beautiful color.
Here's the special effects with the 1908.
I'm going to pour in a 1/2 ounce of fresh lime juice, and it'll change color. See, it
Hello.
became pink. It turned pink.
Just like that. It's great to do that.
So right
at
now
the
we have
end of everything.
one with the lime and one without,
Without
and
the
it's
lime.
pink, and
Check
it's
that out, will you?
the effect is special. Just saying.
I'm actually watching. We got a delay here, so I'm going to watch this happen in real time.
Okay, I'll do this one too.
Ping!
It's magic. This is a variation on a drink I did Thursday. But Thursday I did brandy and tequila, and today I'm doing gin. But then okay. And then a splash of Aperol. Just a little dribble. Not even a 1/4 ounce. Just
A
a
tiny
little,
bit.
a splash. A trickle. There we go. Trickle.
Trickle, trickle, trickle. And a fountain.
Okay. Any Music Man fans out there?
Here we go.
Fountain. Trickle, 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 trickle. All right. I sound insane. And a dash of cranberry bitters. More insane than usual. Now it's a beautiful sunset shade. And then we're going to fill with our chilled Prosecco. Oh, it's a beautiful thing. But wait, there's more. Now how much would you pay?
Wait, folks.
Okay.
Dean is waiting with empty glasses.
I saw that. Yeah, that's so funny. Okay. All right, so you want to hand me my plate of herbs?
And garnish with?
So I've got some chocolate mint.
That's fun.
Yeah, if you can find chocolate mint, it makes a really fun garnish because it smells like chocolate
it does
and
have
mint.
That chocolate flavor.
So I'm going to
we actually got
garnish
ours,
with some chocolate mint and...
Got ours at the... Oh, one of the big box stores was selling, Lowe's perhaps, was selling the herbs, and it was available. You go ahead and plant for just a few dollars, plant it in some good dirt, and let it rip. We have ours
and I'm putting
putting
in some time as well because it was starting to flower. So that's
so it's flowery time, highly appropriate for a chance.
I'd say
for chance.
Garnish with. You know what? We need a straw with all of this beautiful, all of this beautiful garnish. It needs a straw.
I'm going to actually get my nose into it and see how it goes.
It smells good.
That's very nice.
It's a beautiful presentation, and it needs a straw.
And it needs a straw.
Probably a piece of ice, too.
I would go for a cube myself if you are doing.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, because so can you grab us a couple of straws, please?
I would be glad to.
Thank you.
Just a moment. I'm just checking out the comments here.
It's so beautiful. You can't get to it.
You can't even
get to it.
All right. If you would grab that.
Oh, Julie. Oh, Julie says the barrel is lovely. Hi, Charlie. Strong enough to make Evelyn tremble. This is way cool. Okay, good. I'm glad we're seeing comments.
Very good.
Yay.
Big fun.
All right.
I was thinking about last week on our broadcast, our live broadcast on Thursday. Normally Wednesday these days because we have changed days, but Thursday for very specific reasons. I was reading a recipe from a 19th century cocktail book, the Jerry Teller's book, and
right now,
of course you see a whole lot of drinks in there that just look like the same drink, and what's the difference? In many cases, it's what you're garnishing it with. You know, garnish with fresh fruits in season.
Right.
Well, we don't necessarily pick up fresh fruits in season and like garnish with blueberries if they're in season. I don't know how well that would work. You know.
I think that would be great.
But it could be good. But the simple fact is, he was thinking about orange slices and such things. But garnishing with the fresh herbs is a great idea.
Catching up.
That's quite nice.
All right. It is good, isn't it?
And this is a really nice light brunch drink that you could enjoy there with your plate of.
It's so pink.
Eggs and Taylor ham or Spam, you know, that kind of thing.
Taylor ham.
perhaps some fresh salmon, some lox.
That's
that kind of thing.
New Jersey specific.
It is pretty New Jersey specific. I think we have a few New Jersey correspondents.
I never even heard
right
of Taylor ham until probably 2 years ago.
It's a product that sounds fairly specific at this. The Taylor company started actually taking various bits and pieces and making these canned hams sometime around 1860s, I think. Maybe earlier. I don't know. They're still at it. They still do it. And if you go into a New Jersey deli and ask for...
Bill, your stories are crazy. Wow. Okay.
They just go on like craziness. Oh, by the way, there's a great book about President James Buchanan, which is simply called Worst President Ever. Got this a few years ago, read it, highly entertaining. He may or may not have been the worst of chief executives, but he's pretty low on the list, considering the things that happened during Buchanan's presidency. He was fairly qualified for the job, but he really did not hit the things he might have done.
Arguably.
In the 1850s. There are things that could have been done. They were not done. And some extremely bad things happened during his presidency. So I would say, like, no matter what, maybe you're a fan of the guy, maybe you're not, but read and enjoy. It's a very entertaining read.
Pina colada. If you like pina, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
I'm sorry. I had to do it.
Copyright.
I had to do it.
Yeah. Billy, pina is one of those things that we don't often do because we don't necessarily have the cream of coconut on hand. Yeah. But it is so simple and easy to do. You get a blender. You get the can that says Coco Lopez or the other one that you like. And pineapple juice. And you get your rum. Bang. It's easy and good.
The best pina colada is just, it's in Cancun. In the pool. They bring it to you.
The young woman or the young
heaven.
man will come around and ask you if you need a round, and you specify.
Yes, I do.
And it's like, fine, And then about 15 minutes later, it comes back with a tray of drinks and serves you up. And there's a tall frozen thing. It's really hot. You're in a pool, and it's pretty awesome. It's a great little thing. So at the end of the day, it's kind of like, what's the best hot chocolate? Well, after you've been climbing the mountain, and you finally arrive at the ski lodge, and somebody serves you up something, it probably doesn't really matter what it is. That's the best hot chocolate,
You're in the pool, and you have like pina colada, the strawberry daiquiri, the bushwhacker. That's chocolate.
Yep. That's
and then you're like, I can't get out of this pool because I just gained 10 pounds. So.
I need to do 150 laps.
And I also can't have dinner, but
But if you have all the calories you need during the day, then you're done. Heck, have a light dinner. Have a salad. It'll be fine.
Have a salad.
Have a salad. It's just a light thing.
A martini with 7 olives.
Yeah, you got to get some nutrition in there. What was that? I think that's a quote from Sex and the City back in the day.
When they go to the party with no food.
With no food whatsoever.
Samantha says, I'll have a martini with 7 olives.
They are realistic. They have to have a drink, but they have to try to stave off blotto. We've been to this party, by the way.
Oh, see, John F. says, I find the pina colada too thick. I prefer by far the painkiller. Another good one.
We've actually made a pina-type drink that was lighter. Here's the kicker. If you don't use the sweetened coconut, you can use coconut milk, widely available at your supermarket now. And you just mix it up as you would a pina colada. It's considerably lighter and less sweet, and it's still quite a nice presentation. I think you would find that actually compares very favorably to the painkiller. Painkiller is fun. If you're ever actually in Maryland.
Yeah, I was going to say, we went to Hussers in Annapolis and had painkillers there. That was fun.
Annapolis is one of those cute little towns that reminds me of nothing so much as like Wickford, Rhode Island. Like this
just tiny, where he grew up.
Tiny little nautical town.
Martini salad.
They of course have the War College there, so they have a big thing going on.
War College?
Well, it's a naval town. Hello.
I've never heard it called a war college.
Well, what in the world do you prepare for if you're in the Navy? Just asking.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I just never heard it called a war college.
We just watched a film today that said peace is our profession. Well, maybe I should need to consider that more than anything. That's the thing. So the simple fact is, Annapolis has a Buster's bar. It's a very nautical bar, very clubby, a lot of fun, and of course they will serve you not a painkiller. They will serve you painkiller choice. They have 3.
Yeah, they had no. It was I think it was 4.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
I think you're right. And you look at the
strength of the painkillers.
The strength of the painkillers are, and I think it's just listed by level. And I remember asking our waitress, what's the difference here? And she simply said, well, how much pain are you in? So.
P.S. We were there.
They got a sense of humor.
At about 11 o'clock in the morning. Because we were going to D.C. and we left home really, really early because there was a snowstorm coming. So we're like, well, we want to beat the storm. So we wanted to get on the highway. So I think we got on the road at about 6 a.m. So we made it to D.C. by 11 in the morning. And we're like, well, we can't check into our hotel. So we went to Posters in Annapolis. And they were open, but nobody there.
They were not at peak capacity yet.
There was no one there but us.
It started to fill in eventually.
I mean, they had a dock. They set us right by the water, and there was a dock outside. So there were various tour boats coming and going. So there was life, but just no one there drinking except us. So I think I had either the lightest or the second lightest. It's morning on a weekday,
I think I had level 2.
But it was fun.
I had level 2. I was not in the mood for a 4 ounce pour on a drink, but something more along the lines of what Chew on Sport was.
It was
perfectly
fun.
fine. The fact is, they certainly as hell know how to make a painkiller. They have apparently copyrighted or patented this formula.
Controversy.
I'm not talking about that, but the fact is that Pussers decided that one of the drinks that they would make a specialty was the painkiller, and they do it. Pussers itself is a very particular kind of rum because it's made a particular way. It's a pot
Navy rum.
It's a Navy rum, pot still rum. It has a lot of aromatics. We were making something on air, I think just a few weeks ago. I needed a Jamaican rum, and at the time, all I had was the Dr. Bird. And I said, well, that will do. The Dr. Bird is extremely aromatic. There's a lot going on in that rum. Compare it to, say, a bottle of Bacardi Clear. That's like distilled to be like a really clean rum to use in your daiquiri. And the simple fact is, I don't think that the Dr. Bird would work that well in your daiquiri, but neither would the Bacardi work that well in your painkiller. So you have to know which to use where. It depends on what you're going for. So, Pussers has like great flavor notes. I like that kind of flavor a lot. I will absolutely use that in my grog any day of the week. That's exactly what I want to use, a navel type rum. Very heavy aromatic. So,
it's a good one.
And probably on the shelf at your local your liquor store, so I can tell you, well, I would like to use this.
It depends.
You can go and find it.
Probably the closest liquor store to our house doesn't have it, but if we drive 10 minutes, they do.
If we drive 10 minutes, they do. You know, you are very likely to be able to find that in places. There are all sorts of great liquors we've had, various places, and I think I could recommend it, but
Utah
can you,
has no
can you find
place
it?
to go.
Oh, phooey!
Yeah, I know.
Well, you know, there's always a way around such things. Utah does have places where you could try things.
How do you know that?
We were in Utah, and I remember talking to somebody, and he says, oh, yeah, you just look around. And there's also, like, what was it?
I don't remember that.
What was the show? Insomniac. He did a show in Utah.
That's true.
Utah sounds like, well, this is going to be a dry town. Well, there are modifications to what you can do there. Well, I'm thinking about Salt Lake City. Sorry. This is very true. This is very true. You know, I'm thinking of Salt Lake City. It's like, you know, can you actually get a drink there? Yeah. You're limited by proof, but I think there's also such things as liquor clubs. So that just sounds like prohibition.
David, are there liquor clubs? I'm curious.
If I'm wrong, let me know, because I'm talking about what I saw on the show. This was a long time ago. So.
True.
Martini salad. Well, it depends on what you put in your martini.
I was thinking of the olives.
We're talking brunch drinks here because we're still representing.
You could do a Cornichon.
The work of Peter Sellers, and we're thinking it was a brunch, so we're talking about what you would have as a brunch drink.
I have another one.
Yes, you do.
Erythophilus jage.
Oh, I'm getting a little low.
Erythophilus jage.
I was thinking about a classic brunch drink, of course, if you happen to like tomato juice, is Bloody Mary. That's been around at least since the 1920s. I don't think it was called a Bloody Mary then, but eventually it was, and then it became a thing. It's kind of like the Mai Tai. It was a Trader Vic's thing, which is claimed dates to the 1940s. That really became a thing in probably around the mid-1950s on cruise ships. And then it exploded, and then suddenly everybody wants a Mai Tai.
David says there are fun places, but not fun places.
Oh.
Satellites, this is how the comments keep freezing up. I feel you. We can't even have the video open. If we have the video open, we can't see the comments. So
yeah, there's something going on with the socials these days. We've had problems with all of them, wherever we're going.
I don't know.
We had a pretty good Instagram broadcast from Cleveland, which was actually a lot of fun. It was a good day. We had a great day out there, good food and drink, and great thrifting. Well, actually, vintage shopping is what it was. It was not thrifting.
I just got an idea.
And we repaired a hotel and broadcast. That was fine. However, we've had some issues with these venues since we've been home. So I think if we're having them, you're probably having them. And what can I say?
I always say the 4 words that strike fear in Paul's heart are, I have an idea. But I have an idea.
And?
We don't simultaneously, we do Facebook and YouTube, because we can do both of those on our camera, simultaneously go live. But we can't do Instagram. That's not included in that. I'm like, but what if we hooked up a phone and just put it next to the camera and did Instagram simultaneously with Facebook and YouTube?
Longtime viewers of the show might remember a period where we basically had two phones going.
Yeah.
To go to...
You snooze and you lose comments. Dog.
To go to both
basically
Facebook and YouTube. Because I thought, well, it's extremely clumsy, but it would work. And we made it work. And then we got this camera, which will broadcast to 20 different destinations.
Well,
so now we go to 2 destinations, and it works fine. And that actually made life easier. And also, it's a really great camera. It's got a great microphone. You can probably hear me just fine now because there's 5 mics in this thing. It's a little echoey because there are fewer things in this room now. But it's not obscuring what we're doing. And I've been very happy with that for the year and maybe a half that we've had this camera. We've had some really good broadcasts with it. And I'll continue to be and will be. However, if we cannot do a platform, that's the nature of what we're doing. Right now we're broadcasting in landscape format. Instagram, of course, is like a portrait format. You have to be narrow. Right. I think that's a real pain in my keister because there are 2 of us. So in order to actually go to a narrow format, I have to be like, hi, we're mixing a bunch of drinks and I have to hold on to her the whole time. Which is insane. That's because people hold their phones like this. The fact that you actually talk on your phone like this doesn't mean that you should be holding your phone like that. Turn your damn phone. Ugh. Rant off. But that's that.
Really?
No.
Are you sure you're through?
No, but I'll shut up for a while. Okay. Why the hell does Instagram do this? It makes it a pain in my neck because the fact is we would go there in a second. We've got a pretty good following on Instagram and we post a lot of stuff there.
You know, I would say that Instagram is like that because it's different from the other. And it started off independently, but now it's owned by Facebook. So get it together. Get it together.
Facebook does it differently.
Get it together.
Get it right, will you? Drop and give me 50. You know, I'm just thinking there's another way to go. I think that they could figure it out. All of these platforms start doing things differently every 6 weeks. That's life. We deal with it. You have to deal with it. I'm sorry you have to deal with it.
I know.
I mean, we're doing a show here. If it's a pain in the neck for us, all right, whatever. We're broadcasting. But if the consumer out there is trying to check out what's going on, and it's just a pain in the neck, I'm like, it's just supposed to be easy. It's free. Why is it hard for you to comment?
Well,
that is so stupid.
There's also the idea if you get what you pay for.
Which you do. And I know what we're paying for this, and I know what you're paying for this. But, like, anybody who tunes into our broadcasts, I want to make this as seamless as possible. This is not some trial by fire. This is just you're watching us doing these things, you know?
Shouldn't be a trial by fire.
Shouldn't be a trial by fire. Sometimes it is. And I sound like I'm ranting. I'm not ranting at you. You're watching.
You kind of sound like you're ranting.
But, like, the venues...
He's not ranting at you.
No.
He's just ranting.
You tuned in.
That's what he does.
You're here to have a little bit of fun.
He's rehearsing to be a cranky old man.
I think I've achieved that, so... I have the license to prove it, so... At the end of the day, we actually just try some interesting things. And if they're good, we tell you about them. And if they're terrible, we'll tell you not to do them. So that means that you don't have to buy an expensive bottle of liquor.
Speaking of, I have another drink to make.
Oh, you do?
I do. I have to finish this one.
It's big fun. We are still here celebrating the work of Peter Sellers. We were inspired to do so. We've watched some great stuff over the past several days. We did not actually watch the Panther, although it's great. But we've
seen it before.
We've seen it. We did watch Shot in the Dark, which of course is also Clouseau. Interestingly enough, there were 2 Panther movies during 1964. This is one of them. Shot in the Dark, I think, came first. It was a stage play. And then Blake Edwards adapted it for the movies. And for some reason, like within months, they cranked out another movie. And you have like another classic picture with David Niven. Robert Wagner's in this. Capuchin. Hello. Fran Jeffries actually has a great song called Meglio Stasera, which you can hear on this.
Hi, Carol.
The party, I'm not a huge
yes,
fan
they are
of
pink
those
pleats.
great eye candy. So, Big fun.
My little caftan thingy. It has pink pleats.
It does, in fact.
Yes.
So for your next hat trick.
For my next drink, you can even remove these. I brought over other flutes.
Now, waiter, could you remove these?
Can you remove that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
This show tends to require a fair amount of glassware. That's why we have a fair amount of glassware.
Party is still David's favorite. I love that one. Oh my gosh. Okay, so, David, I was looking for something to fill this wall, which is currently blank. And I saw this poster. We didn't buy it because it was $2,000. But I found a hilarious poster from the party that said, if you've ever had this much fun at a party, you're under arrest.
This is fairly idiotic, even in the context of the movie. But that's advertising, folks.
It was so funny, though. I didn't buy it.
I will say the following.
But I did buy something.
I will say the following about the party.
Shortly.
It is many people's favorite movie. Let it continue to be so. My personal opinion is that it needs more meat on the bone. But the simple fact is, the last time we saw it, I suddenly realized, you know what? Don't watch the main characters too much. Watch the background. Like a lot of Blake Edwards pictures, the incidental characters do crazy, stupid things that are hilarious.
Well, I was thinking about
Watch the head waiter.
But I mean, even Peter Sellers in that movie, like he's just, I don't know, Peter Sellers just as a, like in that one and being there, he's so kind of innocent, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't know.
He's a babe in the woods.
He's a babe in the woods.
He's playing ethnic in a way that you cannot do anymore.
No, you can't do that today.
And that is neither good nor bad. That is just as it is. He's also driving a crazy ass car. Take a look into what that car is. Just go to IMDb and look it up. I forget what it is. It's this crazy 3-wheeled English car.
Hi, Sibs. Good to see you. Oh, Dr. Strangelove. We love it too.
Oh, please. Saw it today and yesterday. Would watch that film any day of the week, any hour of the day. I don't care how many times I've seen it. It is one of the tightest shooting scripts I've ever seen.
Paul brought over the grain alcohol, speaking of Dr. Strangelove.
Do I need to do that right now?
No.
Okay.
Well, I need to do my other drink, and then maybe you could do grain alcohol and rainwater.
There's always the
Did
Ripper.
it rain today?
No.
It was supposed to rain.
Well, it's threatening, but it didn't.
But it hasn't, so.
There's always the Ripper, which we have debuted on this show before.
Oh, thank you, Carol.
Because we happen to love Ripper. He's out of his damn mind, but, you know, it's a great
He's
character.
nuts.
Sterling Hayden.
But
Big kudos.
I watch
to
all these
Sterling.
things as an actor. I was watching him today as an actor. Interesting.
And what were you concluding about Sterling Hayden's performance?
It's all in his eyes.
Yeah.
Because, like, they get all these close-ups on him, and he doesn't move his head at all. It's just, like, the eyes, you know?
That's a very Stanley Kubrick thing.
Yeah.
Because, of course, Stanley started out as a photographer, and that's what you really need to know about his pictures. There's a lot of what the French critics call mise en scène, what's happening inside the frame. You know, so all these big close-ups on people. You see that even in 2001. Huge close-ups on somebody's eyeball. It's all about like these, like what is happening right there, right then. And if you want to really understand that picture, you've got to see that widescreen.
Satellite says Peter
Not a TV
Sellers
picture.
was born 7 months after her dad.
Wow! Oh, cool.
Aww.
Oh, wow.
Love it.
That is actually common among the people watching this show. If you check dates, you'd probably find that's not unusual.
See you later, David. Okay,
Hey!
so I'm gonna make
Thanks so much.
Irrita Fellas Jage.
You got to stand around for this. How about some brandy?
Yes. And we need to start with brandy because it's Cluso.
Glizzo.
Irrita Fellas Jage.
Do you want to build this or shake this?
I want to build it, but you know what? I'll put a piece of
How about some
ice
cubes in
or
there?
two in each glass.
Let's do so.
I realize ice and bubbles is like,
And as
but we're mixing in the glass. So 1 ounce of brandy for a Irrita Fellas Jage. I have to keep saying it like him. Irrita Fellas Jage.
And he says this and deadpans it, and nobody comments on this within the context of that scene. And
because they just think he's an idiot.
Well, people are correcting him left and right about other things, but they don't.
They just
So
think
you've
he's
also
an idiot.
got, you know, George Sanders in there.
George Sanders. I love him.
Who is, if it's possible to be more condescending
Nope.
on screen.
That was his entire casting.
than, say, I'm thinking of Mr. Belvedere.
Clifton Webb.
If it's possibly more condescending than Clifton Webb, George Sanders is it. Unbelievable.
Not the TV show Mr. Belvedere. The original movie.
The motion picture series. There were like 3 of them, I think. But yeah, the first one, Sitting Pretty, is
Why
damn
is
hilarious.
that not on DVD? Is it on DVD by now? Because it wasn't before, and like I love that movie.
Why is it not on DVD? I cannot conceive, sir. It's unbelievable. Really, really hilarious.
Phyllis Jade. Okay, so
there's your rip.
I need the
Cassis, perhaps.
So that was 1 ounce of brandy. We're going to do a ½ ounce of creme de cassis.
Please. Sometimes I think these actors who have these sonorous voices are just in love with the way that their voice sounds. So they actually just speak in a way that sounds like they like the sound resonating within their own cranium. And that sounds like George Sanders.
Do you hear my dulcet tones?
I am speaking to you in synchronization with these, this. It's kind of like that. And I kind of wonder, because there's a lot of actors who are
when
like
you
that.
hear the chime. All right, ½ ounce creme de cassis.
Mm-hmm. Waiter, will you please take care of that?
½ ounce fresh lime juice.
Mm-hmm. Always a good idea with these sweet drinks. If it starts out with a liqueur, you want to add some sour.
So I'm just saying, we have World of Henry Orient on the TV right now. And what they did to little girls back then, well, not even little girls, but like, they gave them these kind of buffy pigtails. It was horrible.
Yeah, I think ladies at that time, young ladies had to put up with such stuff.
Oh, that's it. And then fill with chilled Prosecco. This is the...
And that's it.
Rita Phyllis Jade. So that was
I happen to really
an
like
ounce
that
of
line.
brandy, ½ ounce creme de cassis, ½ ounce fresh lime juice, filled, chilled. If you have champagne, that's better. We have Prosecco.
Any sorts of bubbles that are made with wine. You get your cava, you get Prosecco, you
Well,
get champagne,
champagne,
Moscato.
Clouseau.
We happen to really prefer a brut style. You want a dry style of those.
I like a brut.
And if
That
you
sounded
happen to
wrong.
have, I happen to like a brut myself. If you happen to have a local cider mill that's making hard cider and they make a dry cider, made properly, wow, that really is in the same class as these. And let's happen to...
Killed him in a Rita Phyllis Jade.
Shall we happen to enjoy a Rit? I don't mind if I do. Well, I like that a
Ooh,
lot.
I think I might even like that better than the first one.
That is like a Key Royale with some notes added.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Big fun.
Mmm. Yummy.
Oh, we've got a note to here. Murder by Death, Sellers, Niven,
Oh!
and Falk. Oh,
Yeah. I know. We didn't get a chance to watch that one again.
Yeah,
but
I know.
It is a good one.
Of course, you got Sellers playing, I think, Asian in that case, which is like very on PC these days.
I know.
I know,
A
you
lot
can't
of
do it
things
anymore.
you can't do today.
Can't do it anymore. So enjoy it for what it was. Back in the day, people did things, some of them were a little distasteful. If it's done well, it's done well. I think the simple fact is, in the 1930s, having a...
Hi, John.
Having a Swedish...
John Fallon, hello.
Having a Swedish-American actor playing Asian was a little off-color. But there's also the fact that some of these characters are the smartest character on screen. Like, not Mr. Moto. That was actually played by a Czech actor.
You're thinking of Charlie Chan.
Charlie Chan is usually the smart guy on screen.
I know, you can't do it, and I get why you can't. I get it.
If he's
I
a
totally get
stereotype,
it. No,
I'm sorry.
not okay. Not
Hollywood
okay.
did that.
Not okay.
But if he's like the wise guy on screen and everyone else is a dummy,
No, but I mean, I get why people don't like it.
then that even within context, he's still a smart guy. So
But I will say, I don't feel like Peter Sellers ever made fun of anyone.
no.
So, like, I get why you can't do it now, and I will defend Peter Sellers. So, there we go. I agree that you can't do it now.
He did so much.
Totally.
So many places with so many accents.
Agreed totally. But
so many characters.
But at the same time, I think like they weren't trying to hurt anyone. I'll just say that.
No. Not the
That's all I'm going to say. I think he would be very upset if he thought people thought he was trying to hurt anyone. That's all I'm going to say.
Of course, the Pink Panther series, starting with Shot in the Dark, featured.
Hi, Rachel.
The great, I believe I'm getting this right now.
Right. Yes. Exactly. Rachel.
The great Hong Kong actor Burt Kwok as Kato, who really does journeyman work as the assistant who was instructed to attack Clouseau at random points in time. It's a hilarious conceit, which actually just gets crazier as the series goes on.
Yes.
In the 60s, it's a little subtle. You get to the 70s pictures, there's these elaborate slow-mo sequences that are recalled that are out of lunch, you know, really. So big kudos to Burt Kwok, because I think he just left us a few years ago.
Did he?
I remember seeing that. I'm like, oh wow, I recognize that. Great stuff, Kato. So, geez, Mickey Rooney's birthday.
No, I know. I said she's absolutely right. Yeah, it's like it's like not okay.
Yeah, Misco.
Not okay.
Misco Wright
don't
a
even
little
don't even say
off color these days.
Nope.
It's what Hollywood would do at the time, and that's what it was.
Yep.
I'm sure all of the like Chinese American and Japanese American organizations at the time were saying, "Yeah, well."
Sigh.
But, if you had persistence, you would actually prevail. And these days, different things happen. These days, they would just hire somebody who was actually Japanese American.
Right. Or they would just find someone,
Bang.
Like they wouldn't go for a stereotype. They would just hire someone white to play the landlord and have them be crazy. And
because I'm thinking of, like, Caucasian landlords in motion pictures.
We've had a lot of Caucasian landlords who were nuts. Just saying.
We lived in New York City for 10 years, so we had our share.
Yeah.
More than our share. Caucasian landlords in motion pictures who are a little batty. How about the Graduate with Norman Fell?
Oh God, it's not Peter Sellers, but I love that movie.
It's a completely different head, but I'm just thinking about that comment. I'm thinking, yeah, well, that's always possible too. So,
But you're not one of those outside agitators.
so Mr. Yunioshi, who gets name-checked on the soundtrack, by the way. It's actually great that they did that. They have a whole tune that they've got there. It's a great little bit of music. It's a little bit of like basically Exotica from Henry Mancini, and they pay tribute to the character. He himself is a little high-strung, but the accent coming from a non-Asian actor, of course, is a little off color. So we have to reflect this fact. I subscribe currently to Mad Magazine. The Mad Magazine, Here's an aside for you. Mad Magazine has been around since the 1950s. And currently they're running a lot of recycled content. I can't say I would go and do it now. We did that so I could get a tiki mug. That's not the worst reason to do such things. But as a kid, I read this thing.
Done worse things for a tiki mug.
It was hilarious, and I support the concept now, and I wish that they would produce more original content. However, if you read the magazine now, it will say that some of the recycled content was produced before the current era, and some of it is a little distasteful. So there you go.
Oh.
That's the proviso you have to understand when you're watching any material produced between about in motion pictures produced between about 1910 and maybe the 1990s.
Chaz says, Mr. Roper, as long as you're in your Mrs. Roper caftan.
Well,
oh my God.
You're in a type of caftan right now.
I am in a type of caftan right now.
I would not say that is out of the question at all.
We were watching Love Boat on Pluto, and it had Audra Lindley, Mrs. Roper. And I felt like this was just the role she accepted because it wasn't Mrs. Roper. But she still had horrible costumes.
She wanted to try something.
Although Mrs. Roper had great costumes.
She did.
Just saying.
Stanley! Yeah.
Poor Mrs. Roper. She was probably about 40. When I think about it now, I think Edith Bunker was probably about 42. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Interesting concept.
Yeah.
The thing about Mrs. Roper is that basically she's depicted as sex-starved, and I think, is that really a problem that most men have a problem with? It's
just Stanley.
Funny to think about that.
Just Stanley.
And Stanley's there like, oh, well, and blah blah blah. Oh, you get a problem with that, my friend.
And now that we're talking about this, I guess we found our theme for Thursday's live. Three's Company.
Come and knock on our door for a live broadcast.
We should turn our bar into the Regal Beagle.
Well, it could be done. I'm going to need to go out there and get some like red vinyl and a lot of banquettes.
And now the Regal Beagle, is it still open? There was a place.
There was an actual place.
Yeah,
based on.
Yeah, that was the Regal Beagle, and it was in like Venice Beach or something, or Santa Monica, one of those. But it was a real place.
Santa Monica. Oh, what's the difference?
Yeah, that was. I did research on this. But it was still open pre-COVID. I don't know if it is now. I hope it is.
Oh, hey. Do we happen to have the in the house?
I think it was in your pile over there.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But anyway, Regal Beagle. It was called something else, though. I gotta look it up. Hold on. I researched these things.
Check these things out. We're still talking about Mr. Sellers. That's the whole nature of this broadcast. I have my props over here.
Does the Regal Beagle really exist? Okay, here we go.
I think I remember seeing this quite a number of times on broadcast television.
Oh, was it closed?
Pretty hilarious.
It closed.
Oh, no. Another victim of the last year and a half.
Wait, in Canton? No, that wasn't in Canton.
Different Regal?
No, different Regal. They're saying, oh, it was the inspiration. Like, no, it wasn't.
Canton what?
That was in...
Just wondering.
That wasn't it. Hold on.
Hold on, folks. This continues.
All right. Keep talking. Don't leave.
Oh.
You got to keep talking while I research.
Okay, folks. We're talking about things
we can't
that
both
exist.
We can't both leave. Hold on.
Not things that have actually gone by the wayside.
Hold on.
A number of things have in the past few years. It's a real shame. I will not go on to a long, lengthy list as not to appear morbid. We've managed to lose Lunois in New Jersey, which I really wish would come back. So I think I really need to play the Powerball so that I can win the Powerball, so that I can just finance this and say, do your joint.
Okay, so many people opened a place called Regal Beagle, it turns out.
That rhymey thing really actually contributes to such things.
No, that wasn't. Shay J. That's what it was called. Shay J.
Ah.
It got landmark status. Okay, hold on. It received landmark status.
Shay J looks like a hole in the wall from here.
But it was right on the beach. It's Santa Monica. It was in Santa Monica. Is it still open?
Let's find out,
Hold on,
folks.
let me check.
We have a number of people watching from the West Coast. They might be able to fill us in on such things.
If you know.
But some of you are not necessarily
backyard. It says backyard brunch is back. Okay.
Okay. Done.
Backyard. Wait, I didn't mean to close that. Backyard. I was like, mic drop. But
I'm sorry. You
but I have to do this to actually see your comments, don't I?
You don't say it.
My mic drop failed. Joe says we need some good 50s sci-fi, like When the Worlds Collide, War of the Worlds, etc. Oh my gosh.
Well, we're still talking about
idea.
sellers who didn't do such things, but in terms of future broadcasts, that's fun.
I love it. It's a great idea.
Actually worked the
we're talking Sunday brunch at the movies.
We've worked the AIP vein in the past.
That could be our next Sunday brunch at the movies. AIP. Yes. I love it. AIP.
Sorry. Humming a little Harriman there.
No apology necessary.
Which actually is the theme to Cape Fear. So, sorry. That one really sticks in my mind as a sci-fi thing, but it's not. It's a thriller thing.
Oh, Janice. Yeah, I feel like... What did I do to make these show up? Like, I don't know. I don't know what to say. The comments, this is terrible.
I wish I knew so I could tell you, because when this fails for us, we try everything until it works, and then we don't necessarily, we have to keep going. I don't necessarily remember. And if it's going to fail for me, it's going to fail for you.
I clicked out of the video, and I'm just in the feed right now. I'm just in the news feed.
If you want to watch this full screen, like you actually make this filling your screen on your laptop or your TV,
I don't know.
you're not going to be able to you all the comments. It's kind of a pain. I don't know why that is.
Kind of a pain.
Total
pain.
Yeah, it does not actually service anything, so I'm kind of at a lack of words here. Why does this not work the way it used to?
No.
But lack of functionality is kind of a trademark of our times.
Satellite says, Facebook has been missing with videos lately, or maybe it's YouTube.
Yeah. Well, Facebook totally plots for everybody last week.
I love it.
Oh.
Yeah, I would love to find a way to do this away from all of this. But I know we would be starting over from scratch. People don't move platforms. So if we found a new platform where it's like, okay, we're going to do all of our videos on blah.
Fill in the blank.
Would you come? I mean, like you got to create an account and blah, blah, blah. And I know and we'll probably be doing a video to 2 people. And I don't want to do that. But at the same time, like, it's very depressing to me that every time we log on to these things, it's different, you know, like, oh my God, just work.
It's fairly simple. We would like to catch you where you are.
Yeah.
And if you are at a particular place, we will work with that and make it work. And if it's kind of a hassle, it's our hassle. It should not be your hassle. So when I find out that I'm having a problem, but you're having a problem, I think that's crazy. The audience should not have a problem. This is supposed to be easy. You press one button, done. If I have to go through a lot of rigmarole to get a broadcast together, that's not your issue.
I feel like, you know, we're seeing some support for it. So, like, I don't know, like, I got to look into this, but Discord? I don't know. I signed up for Discord the other day.
Twitch TV?
I don't even completely know what it is, but maybe we could do something on...
There are venues which are a little younger that are not paying that much attention to things.
I got to figure it out. I don't know, maybe Twitch.
It's not that we have a problem with copyrighted content. We're copyrighting the content. We're not playing music here. We're not engaging. We're not like throwing in clips of videos and stuff like that. This is a live broadcast. We make a few cocktails. We talk about a theme. We're talking about Peter Sellers,
who owns the right to his own I know he's dead, but his heirs own the right to his image.
So,
but still, we're not trying to usurp his image.
We're not trying to steal anything.
We've done legal workshops about this stuff.
We produce content. We expect that people respect that. We respect their content. That's very true. I mean, that's just life. That's the way it goes. So, do we have anything else in our bag of tricks?
These are the ones I came up with, but if you have another idea, please feel free.
Many people today have been actually talking about Jack D. Ripper. General. Burleson Air Force Base. Well, former, I mean, he just, you know, within the context of the picture, he's no longer.
Yeah.
But people actually talk about what is Ripper all about. Ripper eschews all of this stuff. Bubbles, mixers, blah, blah, blah. He's a very straightforward and simple guy.
If you're familiar with the movie, he's partial to grain alcohol and rainwater. Or distilled water. He does do that.
We do not currently have distilled water. We ran out. We happen to have filtered water, which will work just fine for the purpose, because we're filtering out all the things that he's talking about. What is he really talking about? Probably chlorination, but specifically...
Hi, Andrew!
Fluoridation. We can filter out the fluoride, so we will. Let me go do that.
Go filter out that fluoride.
I will find an appropriate glass and proceed. Woo.
Grain alcohol and rainwater. What could go wrong? We have this ancient bottle of Everclear. You can tell it's ancient because it has the old label on it. We typically use it for flaming
drinks.
Volcano balls.
Yeah, volcano balls.
Here, could you?
I could.
They haven't been using this label for a while now, but yeah. And it's almost, It's a drinks bottle.
So it is.
I still don't think you're going to use that much because if you use that much Everclear in a drink, the results might be bad. So I'm against bad outcomes.
I agree.
What you looking for?
I'm looking for the pony in the shot. There
Oh,
it
it's
is.
right here.
Okay. Let's make this half-half.
Do you need some lime juice?
Nope.
All right.
The general does not use such
Put it
things.
over. Now, purity of essence. POE. OPE. If you've been watching Dr. Strangelove, you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, I'm not crazy. I'm quoting a movie. So, all right. Catching up. Looks like I'm caught up. I'm thinking I think the Sunday brunch at the movies needs to be a regular thing, and I think it needs to be monthly. I think if we did it weekly, I think people would lose interest fairly quickly. So I'm thinking monthly, and I'm thinking next month we need to do AIP, American International Pictures. It's such a rich vein of beach party movies and so many fun things. So I think that'll be next month. Okay. And I feel like we need an assistant to monitor comments during all of this. So if you know of anyone who likes to work for booze, we can make sure you get college credit.
You would have to measure this to see where we get.
Okay, so what are you making?
The Ripper.
Okay.
We've made this
The Ripper.
for the show before.
A long time
I think
ago.
we made this for live before.
No, we didn't do it live, but we did it a
Ripper
long
actually
time ago.
insists on having grain alcohol and rainwater.
Yes.
Or distilled water. He specifies. We don't have much of Everclear left. Everclear is, by the way, 190 proof. This is almost pure alcohol. If you're ever actually encountering a bottle of this, don't take a shot because it's paint thinner.
I like it to flame volcano balls. Oh, look! How much is that?
It's about 3/4 of an ounce.
He used it up. Okay, so
Killed it.
1.5 ounces. No, I'll say 3/4 of an
3/4 of an ounce. That's highly appropriate.
3/4 of an ounce Everclear. Okay.
Now let's fill this shot glass to the same proportions with filtered water. If I had rainwater, I'd use it. And pour.
What are you doing with the rest of it?
That doesn't look like much, but that's what it is.
No, it really doesn't.
Yeah. That's the Ripper.
Is that the same amount? Okay,
That's
so
all
it's
he drinks.
So it's a 1/2 ounce Everclear.
No, 3/4 ounce. I filled it to the same exact proportions. 3/4 ounce
What did you do with the
Everclear,
rest of it?
3/4 ounce of the filtered water. The rest of what?
Oh, okay. No, there's still more in there.
No, this is done.
I'll say distilled water.
Yeah. Distilled water works just fine, or rainwater. If you have a rain barrel, you can capture the water, and away you go. Comes from the sky.
The Ripper.
What is Ripper doing here? He's trying to actually keep his fluids pure.
Purity of essence.
So he's thinking that if you distill the essence out of something, you've gotten away from all the junk. If it's rainwater, it's come from the sky. If it's distilled, again, you've got purity. But he's just drinking straight hooch. This is basically exactly what his adversaries are drinking. Vodka. Because at the end of the day, if you take...
That's true.
If
Has
you
anyone done
actually-
a cocktail analysis of this movie?
If you take grain alcohol at 190, not a drinkable product, and you cut it half and half, you can do the math. You end up with a product that is basically vodka. Drinkable product.
True.
I'm going to swirl this to make sure it all combines properly. I do not normally drink shots.
There's a girl in my soup. Oh!
Oh, yeah. I do not normally drink straight vodka, but there are some really good vodkas out there. I think this could use an ice cube, but I will take it straight just to make sure that we're...
Because the
Yeah,
ice cube
exactly.
has water that's not distilled.
Well, actually, our ice cubes come from purified water, so they're probably fine.
How do you know?
How do I know?
Maybe if you used a big cube.
That is somewhere in the nature of 80 proof. Yeah. It's hooch.
It's good.
There's no character, there's no flavors, there's no nothing. If you like to drink straight shots of vodka, this drink is for you. The Ripper. We can make it properly.
Well, we call it the
how to
Ripper,
do
but
it.
should it be purity of essence?
Why the hell not?
Or POE?
POE.
Call it POE.
I'm trying to think of the actual recall code.
OPE.
What's
Oh,
that?
the recall code was OPE. Let's make it OPE.
You can call it the recall code, you can go OPE.
I'm calling it OPE.
That works for me.
OPE. That works for me.
If you're trying to recall two 20 megaton warheads, you want to get the code proper. So,
Wait.
yes. So that's how you would do it with your grain alcohol and your rainwater or distilled water or whatever. We happen to have a water filter on the faucet over there because water tends to taste an awful lot like iodine and chlorine.
Yeah.
I don't appreciate that. I grew up with well water. It tastes a lot better. So we filter our water. I recommend you do too. Whether you use that to cut Everclear is entirely up to you. We still have Everclear around because we can buy it. It's kind of fun, and you can flame drinks with it. So your average 80 proof stuff, it's harder to flame. So you gotta have some of the high proof for that. But I don't sit around drinking high proof shots. This has been cut to normal strength. So still, there you go. However, I'm still here. I'm still talking to you, and I have some Prosecco. So I'm going to fill it with that.
Wait. You're refilling your Prosecco even though you still have your OPE.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
I'm just saying.
The Prosecco is keeping.
I feel like maybe you don't
Nice
find
and
that
cold.
as delicious as perhaps you might.
Ripper was insane. So
Well, Ripper was insane. I'm not saying he wasn't.
there we go. I'm going for a little Prosecco and some cranberry bitters, which would qualify as a cocktail because of its nature. But at the end of the day, it's just a little flavored up Prosecco.
Major Kong. Oh, Major Kong.
Oh,
I was just appreciating that again
the
earlier.
performance of Slim Pickens
When he
is,
goes down to fix the door and he just ends up riding the bump and saying, "Yee-haw!" That was hilarious and disturbing, but mainly hilarious.
There are certain parties back in the day who considered this film extremely distasteful. I think Bosley Crowther of the New York Times did so. He was a real curmudgeon. But plenty of sources did not, and I think it was a major inspiration behind a lot of the thought that happened during the period. A lot of the countercultural stuff that happened was really inspired by Strangelove. Well, what do you got? You've got a film director by Stanley Kubrick, sort of a Hollywood maverick. He was a Hollywood maverick. He loved Hollywood. He went to England. He's a photographer. You've got Terry Southern, who is your basic cosmic cowboy. Texas. He was pretty far out. And then you got a guy named Peter George who wrote a little novella called Red Alert.
Mm-hmm.
And this goes from there. You get this cast of characters and they put this thing together. And it says something about the era and something about the whole concept of what you're trying to do. If you're trying to actually engage in non-war war, call that Cold War, you want to call that mutual deterrence, you're engaging in a no-sum game. All of you gamers out there will start talking about how this can do, how that can do. You can play diplomacy any way you want. You will never win the Great War. And that is a simple fact. But you can have a lot of fun doing it as long as it's a game. If we're talking about Sellers, he played all sorts of characters in a lot of contexts. Even being there talks about Soviet diplomacy.
Well, I think about Mandrake. Yeah, he really tried. Like, if you watch that movie,
Captain Mandrake.
He tried to get Ripper to give up the code. I mean, like, he just cajoled him and wheedled him and, like, yeah, no, it's
He realizes.
Yeah, he really did try. You watch that and you're like, you know what? He did everything he could.
Mandrake realizes about a quarter of the way through the film that something is up.
This guy's nuts.
And he actually brings us to the attention of the general.
Yep.
And then realizes that this can't possibly
young Darth
work.
Vader.
Oh, please, seriously, you've got James Earl Jones in there.
Yes, yes, James Earl Jones.
Oh.
I was saying we were watching it at the end of Doctor Strangelove today. I was like, that voice is unmistakable. James Earl Jones.
You cannot.
Like, yeah, he's just James Earl Jones.
I'm sorry, you cannot escape from James Earl Jones.
You cannot escape my voice.
If you can't escape from James Earl Jones, that's probably a pretty good place to be.
Hi, Lisa and Errol.
Hey!
Glad to see you.
Thanks for showing up. So fun.
Oh, I'm sorry your mom's in the hospital.
Oh, that's right. Oh.
Aw.
You know, that's an increasing thing these days, and I'm very sorry that these things have to happen at this point in time.
No.
And we wish the best results for everybody involved, of course.
Of course.
We're still talking about Peter Sellers in all these movies.
Of course.
General Group Captain Mandrake, according to the script.
Did you say Droop Captain?
No, it's a Group Captain Mandrake. Okay. Yeah, he does not droop. He talks about, like, you know, he doesn't really handle controls. He only had that one button in his Spitfire. So he's an RAF captain. He's actually flown planes. He was apparently, I'm trying to think, he was captain of the Japanese, who was probably stationed in Singapore.
Okay.
If I'm actually going to read history properly. And then he actually, of course, Singapore was conquered by the Japanese. And he was actually forced to build a railroad. And Ripper asked him if he's ever been tortured. Well, yeah, he was.
Yeah, he actually was tortured, and Ripper wasn't.
He was
that
not.
was the interesting thing.
And Ripper's wondering if he can take it. And he decides he can't. Mandrake has been through it all. He was there on the Bataan Death March, more or less.
I've got to say, Mandrake reminds me a lot of a friend of ours. And actually, several of Peter Sellers' characters remind me of a friend of ours who shall remain nameless. And you can't torture it out of me. But if you know us, you probably know.
But true. And it's kind of like Mandrake is very knowing. At the end of the day, Sellers served in the forces during that period, and he, of course, this is the British Army, so he had superior officers, and he had the enlisted men, and there's a real division there. There's a real class division. He used to have a lot of fun imitating the upper class.
I'm trying to find
and that's what Mandrake is.
Another quote to make a drink off of.
Oh, you want another drink?
Well,
getting a little low.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, we're still going, so.
We are. It's all fun.
Keep talking.
Okay. So, at the end of the day, all of you fans of history, I'm not a huge World War buff or anything. We have people we know who definitely are. They can talk circles around me and etc. But I play diplomacy, which is actually about the Great War. Still, I've seen various bits and pieces about these things. I know something about the politics of these things and the consistency. And I hear the accents and I know what they're talking about. I know where they're going with these things. This is all sort of fun. It's all designed to actually give you an impression of what's happening. And
I think I got it.
Oh, you got the thing? I got it. That's kind of fun.
We can co-create this one.
Oh, well, co is okay. We have plenty of ingredients to my right. What do you got?
No, keep talking. Keep
Okay.
talking.
I'm sorry. I'll keep talking.
Keep talking.
I can't see the comments though, so I can't.
I gotta find it again. I gotta make sure I'm right.
Comments.
Oh, hold on. Did he just storm off in a fit of relis jage? Irritabilis jage.
I am not fellas.
Storm off.
I am not experiencing jage.
Irritabilis jage. Okay, hold on.
But I will actually observe what's going on.
I got this. Hold on.
Oh, hush up.
Oh, the dogs next door are barking. I gotta find it. Hold on.
Getting there.
No, I got it.
Sorry for the dead air. I'm actually getting there.
Oh, thank you, Lisa. Lisa loves the room. Thank you. We'll do a video when the room is completely done. We've got a couple more things to add. Oh, it's with Chauncey. Oh, we love being. We did Chauncey Gardner earlier. I don't know if you were here, but we did the Chauncey Gardner cocktail. That was
You'll
awesome.
Find it. You can see the rebroadcast
anytime.
Aperol
Spritz is yum.
It's a killer.
Yep.
It's very simple and very good.
So good.
We've heard telltale that some people think that's not really a cocktail.
So good.
I think it's an excellent mixed drink.
Yep. So good. All right, I had a great name for a drink and I lost it again.
So, just checking out these things here.
No.
Oh, yeah. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. We've worked with a lot of great things tonight. We're talking, I wanted to work with some specifically English products because we're talking an English actor. Pim's cup. I happen to have a bottle right here. Pim's #1. There used to be about 5 of these. They were based on, they had different aromatics added, but the base was different. Pim's #1 is gin. Pim's #2, 3, 4, and 5, I believe, were like Scotch, vodka, Irish whiskey. What else? I don't know. We've only been able to buy #1.
I got it.
And the rest of them have been off the market for a long time, but it's an infused bit of liqueurs. That's the idea behind these. What do you want to do with these? You want to add these to a bunch of like tonic or seltzer and watch your tennis match. That's the idea. It's a premix that allows you to make a tall drink easily with a lot of aromatics. That's a pretty good idea. These days, you also have the option of buying a can of Prosecco. 12 ounces of Prosecco, pour in a glass, pour in some bitters, you've got a cocktail.
I had it.
That's a lot of fun. You can pour in a shot if you want to add some octane. Sure. That's okay. Not a problem. And also, I happen to have the ginger seltzer. If you cannot get this at your local supermarket, it's kind of a drag. Check the national products like Polar to see if they do a ginger by now. Ginger's a really great flavor to add to things because it's not sweet. It has a lot of fire, which I happen to like a lot. What are you looking for?
I had a great idea for a drink.
Okay.
Hold on.
Keep
talking.
Okay, well, I will. I'm talking about other products.
I'm still looking.
I happen to have a bottle here from Edinburgh Edinburgh Gin Distillery, which we bought at one of our locals a couple of years ago, I think. It's getting a little low, but not quite that low. This is fun stuff. This is actually a base of probably 80 proof stuff that's been infused. It's coming up at 20% alcohol, 40 proof, and infused with rhubarb and ginger. This is a fun mixer.
All right, I got it.
It's a little sweet. It's got some aromatics going on. You can put other things in it. I think this works an awful lot like the Pimm's. So you can do that in tonic. You do that in seltzer. Fun things go on. Throw some bitters in there. Fun things go on. Do you want to throw a section of lime in there? Yeah.
We can co-create this. Okay. And then maybe we can give some insight into how we create a drink.
Oh, that's a lot of fun.
All right. Well, I don't know. It might be really boring, but I want to call it lewd and suggestive remarks.
Well, was that actually featured in what? Think that is?
That was in Shot in the Dark.
Shot in the Dark. Oh, the lewd and suggestive remarks.
Lewd and suggestive remarks.
Of course.
So, how we do this. So it's brunch. So I feel like we probably want to use the bubbles to some degree. I feel like lewd and suggestive remarks would probably use vodka, but full disclosure, we're out of vodka. So, what do we have? Lewd and suggestive remarks. I feel like that calls for brandy. Alright, catching up on comments. Oh, run amok. Oh, yeah, so we can run amok. I love it. I feel like maybe we could use the Aperol in this too. I'm just saying. It'd be good. Okay. Looking at our selection, I recently reorganized our liquor shelves, and it can be, I'm not going to lie, it can be a little hard to find things. Ultimately, it's a great thing, but in the meantime, I'm like, yeah, where is anything? Lewd and suggestive remarks. I feel like that should have brandy, right? Brandy. Bubbles. Wondering, I don't necessarily think it should be in a champagne flute. I think it should probably be in a cocktail glass. Maybe the Empress 1908. This is how I make drinks. So you're seeing you're probably like, okay, gotta go. But anyway, this is how I create drinks. I just look at what we have. Oh, I've got it. Okay,
All right.
I've got it.
I like it.
Got it. We need a shaker for this one.
Well, all right then.
Lewd and suggestive remarks. We could just make one.
Well, I'm out, so you can make two.
All right. Let's do 2 ounces of the Empress 1908. Man, we're gonna run out of this stuff. It's
Good stuff.
We bought it
Fun
in New
stuff.
Hampshire, and compared to New York, it's really inexpensive in New Hampshire. So maybe we need another New Hampshire trip. Am I making 2 or 1?
2.
I can't read the measurements in the glass.
I can.
Wait, I got it. I think I got it.
You're right. There. A little more. You got 2 ounces per.
All right.
There you go.
2 ounces Empress 1908. I specify that because of the color.
You can substitute a lot of gins, but this is one of the, well, I think it's the only one that has purple in it. That is the pea flower.
Not
Blossoms.
1980, 1908.
Oh, the 1980 gin is not as fun.
1980 gin is not nearly as fun.
1980 gin was dredged from the steps of Studio 54. Oh, I don't want to know. I'm not going to say I was there.
Okay.
I was a little young for that.
Hi, Marie.
But, hey.
And Luann, hello.
Hey! So happy you could join us. We're still
Me
talking
too.
about the career.
Yeah, we will do a video of this room sometime soon when all of our stuff comes.
Still talking about the career of Peter Sellers.
Okay.
Hello!
So we get
Big
2
fun.
ounces Empress 1908. Oh, you know what? Let me hold this while you go grab the blue curacao.
Sure.
I'm trying to keep this slightly purplish blue. Thank you.
What else? What else?
I think that's it.
Good.
1/2 ounce of blue curacao. I'm doing 1 ounce because I'm making it for both of us.
2 drinks.
So that's going, right now it's incredibly dark blue, but we'll be adding stuff and it won't be anymore. Okay.
If you ever
1/2
see
ounce.
videos where we seem to be pouring a lot more than 1/2 ounce, that's because we're making 2 drinks.
Yep.
Simple.
Okay. And then we got to get some lime in there. So 1/2 ounce fresh lime juice.
Right in front of you.
And then I'm going to do a dash of cranberry bitters. Bitters. Okay. Hold, pardon me 1 second.
Just chopping up what's going on over here. We have all of the ingredients in front of us. We were happening to be using the Giffard Blue Curacao, which we recommend. Highly reputable product. There are a lot of Blue Curacao on the market there that is not very nice. There are a couple
Yeah.
that are good. We got this product,
They're naughty.
kind of naughty, you know. You don't want naughty beverages going into your
Okay.
drinks. There's also Curacao from
Wait,
Curacao.
did I didn't already do the...
And they make a blue product.
I haven't done anything but blue Curacao.
And the base.
Right, so I got to do the lime and the bitters.
Yes.
So, okay, so that was 2 ounces of the Empress 1908, a ½ ounce blue Curacao, a ½ ounce fresh lime juice, and then I'm going to do a dash of cranberry bitters. It'll give it a nice red note.
2 because this
Shake
is 2
with
drinks.
ice. Shake with ice. Can you give me some new ice, please?
Of course.
Thank you. Strain into a cocktail glass and then top with your Prosecco. Okay. Thank you.
Of course.
Hand this back.
Easy that was,
Ugh.
folks.
Keeps getting caught on my dress.
I know.
It's so inky
I guess we
right
need
now.
2 ice buckets in front of us. One for the bubbles and one for the rest.
We need a cocktail glass.
Well, I have 2. We need 2 cocktail glasses.
We have 2?
Yep.
Where are they?
In the freezer. Coming your way.
Oh.
You made 2 drinks?
Oh, yes.
Coming
I
your way.
did. Okay.
This,
2 drinks.
This is
Coming
the
our
Ripper.
way.
Still enjoying. Or the OPE.
This is the dude in suggested remarks, suggested by A Shot in the Dark.
If you like things without a lot of character, the OPE is for you.
OPE.
If you like other things, you still have a drag of...
I do.
I forget what you have a drag of.
I still have a drag of Ritterfellis J.
Oh, the Rit. Yeah, that's good too. 2 cocktail glasses coming your way.
I feel like our next brunch movie happy hour needs to be AIP pictures. Because that gives us everything from Frankie and Annette to, I don't know, Roger Corman.
Roger is our patron saint.
Yeah. We love us a Roger Corman film. So, I'm thinking we need to do this like once a month. More than once a month is crazy, but I think once a month
would be pretty good for lunch.
All right, so hold on.
Please.
All right, I finished my drink before I start my other one. Janice! Hi, Janice.
So nice of you to join us on a Sunday
I'm glad
afternoon.
you're here.
Whether you are East Coast, West Coast, or elsewhere in the world, it's still a Sunday afternoon.
I am glad you're here. And so, let's strain this one.
In Sydney, it's an afternoon. It's a morning tomorrow.
Yeah,
and we do have fans in Australia, so I can say that.
I can't keep that straight.
And I adore you all. Thank you for tuning in.
I do.
Yeah.
All right, so strain into a cocktail glass. Oh my gosh, look at how, okay, it's so blue.
It's pretty blue.
I'll do the special effects. Where's the glass
Glass of what?
that I shook this with?
Well, I took it away. I think it's right
Couldn't
there.
have taken it far. Oh, there it is. Okay. He didn't take it
I didn't
anywhere.
take it away.
He didn't take it anywhere. It was
What
me.
did I say?
All right. I just wanted to, there's extra.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Can you put it aside, please?
Of course.
Thank you. All right. So, special effect. Watch this.
Check it out.
I'll do his. Look at how blue it is. Let's add some
Prosecco.
Prosecco. It's
Hello.
pretty. That's a dark blue. Usually when you do these blue drinks, they come out aqua, which I love aqua, so yay.
It's because of the lime juice.
But there's lime juice in this, and it's this
It's still
marine blue color.
very distinct. Okay. Na zdrownia. And prosit.
Bottoms up. L'chaim.
Of course, l'chaim. So,
I know. It is probably time to sod off, isn't it?
you gotta actually be able to toast in several languages.
That's true.
There's good contents about the blue.
Oh, it's beautiful, right?
What fun stuff. Lauren's asking about absinthe. Oh, I thought about the absinthe.
Oh.
We do not have a genuine bottle of absinthe in the house.
No.
We
don't.
We have a genuine bottle of Pernod, which is an absinthe substitute. Pernod used to make absinthe back in the 19th century, and then they started making the substitute, and then they were making absinthe again. And then
Thank you, Janice.
there's a company called Absinthe, which makes an absinthe substitute, which is much higher proof and pretty high octane. But Absinthe even is making a real absinthe again. And then there's like 1,000 companies making absinthe again. There's a place in a time for absinthe. And we will tackle that in a future episode because it's a fun category. You are not the happiest with such
I feel like we
liquors,
need to get a friend here who's an absinthe expert to tackle absinthe for us.
I have actually had the real product in a liquor store where a brand was
Oh,
demonstrating.
I did too. I was with you.
And I said, what do you got? And they will say, I think the drip is okay, but the one with the lemonade,
That was
a
great.
really good application.
I was all about that.
And all that makes me think is you're about one step away from a Dr. Funk. Now you're in trouble.
It was great.
But definitely.
Yeah, no, I would just like if you are an absinthe expert and you would like to come be on a live video, please get in touch because I'm not an absinthe expert.
We can make it happen.
Yeah. Can't be an expert on everything. So.
No.
So yeah, let us know. That would be fun. That would be really fun.
So, well,
Is it time?
it's about that time.
We have our beautiful blue drink.
Okay, fantastic
Brunch.
sky blue happening here. It's still brunch.
So Peter Sellers, we love him. We're watching him right now in the world of Henry Orient.
We've been listening to him for days.
Mm-hmm.
We saw him in several pictures over the past few days. At the end of the day, I think he was brilliant, and he had a really great thing to say to the world in various things. A long association with Blake Edwards, director.
Yes.
Henry Mancini, composer. And that is like a 1, 2, 3 punch combination that I can't even describe. I mean,
Yeah.
Shot in the Dark, Pink Panther, Party, however you're going, it's a lot of fun. Some things have more to offer than
this
others.
one? Do you remember?
I do not. Music by
I'm looking it up.
Elmer Bernstein. I can tell you that much because I remember
Looking
that.
it up.
Okay.
Directed by.
So we'll find out who is behind the world of Henry
I gotta
Orient.
look this up.
Itself is a
How
pretty
do I not know
hilarious
this?
motion picture.
George Roy Hill.
Oh,
George Roy Hill.
yeah.
Okay. Yep.
He-
A venerable director.
He was actually a big stage director, as I recall, but also did some very prominent
Venerable.
motion pictures,
Yep.
including Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Yep.
I think he won an award for that, so that's good.
Yep. And, okay, so make sure I'm not missing anyone. I'm
Please.
Not. Okay.
Check the comments.
Not missing anyone. That wakes me up at night. I'm like, oh God, did I miss someone's comment? I'm a terrible person.
You don't want to end the broadcast thinking, "Oh, I didn't say that to."
Oh, yeah.
But here we
And
are.
then you get in touch with him later, and it's like, you're weird. Why are you getting in touch with me?
We've actually covered a lot of ground. We're still talking about Peter Sellers, which still involves the work of many other people. I just name checked Mancini
Blake Edwards.
and Blake Edwards,
George
which is
Roy Hill.
fantastic. Yeah, and George Roy Hill. Jeez, I mean, there's just
Hal Ashby
all this thing going on.
directed Being There.
He's one of those directors you really need to investigate if you have not yet.
Yeah.
Check out his work, starting with The Landlord and on up. I think he started out as a DP or editor, and he did a lot of journeyman work, and then he starts directing and really amazing things happen. Big fun.
What did he directed? Hold on.
You can give us a lineup right now. Not that many pictures.
Harold and Maude.
Yeah.
Harold and Maude.
Definitely
I'm
that.
Thinking of like the movies
you would
we've
remember
seen
in a second.
Being There. Shampoo.
Yes, that's a really prominent
Shampoo,
one. Saw that as a
yeah,
kid, of course.
yeah.
I don't think I got any of it, but yeah.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
it's a fantastic Sunday brunch. We've had some great food, which I enjoyed. I hope you.
I feel like I need more great food. Usually,
after a few drinks, we may need some
We might need
auxiliary
some more
great
great
food as these things go.
Say.
Because you're not drinking drinks made out of tomato juice.
No.
If you are drinking this, that, or the other, you are drinking well. There are all sorts of great things to happen. I don't really enjoy Bloody Marys, but you do. So make that happen. There are great ways to make that happen.
Yes.
We've actually been enjoying everything from a French 75 to a Cellar's Gin Fizz, which was great. I was very happy with that, Adam.
Hold on. Reply to a comment.
Nope. Take your time. Take your time. The careers of all of these producers of content are fairly unparalleled. I would say, like, you could really investigate Blake Edwards a long time. You can investigate Peter Sellers a long time. And if you want to talk soundtracks, Henry and City goes on forever. And it was apparently one of the best people to work for in Hollywood. I heard somebody say at one point, oh, he was just a doll. If you're on a soundstage and you're just like scoring a picture and the guy is really reasonable, you treasure that.
And if you could get in with him and be in all of his soundtracks, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, you're doing pretty well. That's why a guy named Plaz Johnson had a career, and he was a fantastic tenor saxophonist, and that's why I play saxophone. So there you go.
I love that that's why you play saxophone.
It's brilliant. So we've had a great broadcast with all sorts of fantastic Sellers pictures. You can actually examine this all the way from Lavender Hill Mob all the way to Being There.
Oh my gosh.
Being There is about the end because he had a heart attack shortly thereafter. He did not consult medical professionals, so we do not have Sellers. But
yeah,
that's unfortunate. And you can watch the pictures and you can appreciate what is there. From the professionals, the all of the actors, all of the directors, all of the DPs, all of that business. Fantastic things happen there. That's a pretty kind of traditional Hollywood system. It's even into new Hollywood, etc., etc. Fun stuff happens. Fantastic drinks happen during these pictures. People mix martinis like mad. Pink Panther is like, would you like a sidecar? Would you like a martini? Would you like a Manhattan? That's a lot of fun.
I would.
I wouldn't mind that at all. We celebrate that all the time. If you are actually watching these things for such things, we appreciate that because that's kind of great.
Yes. Thank you.
But as always, you can suggest anything at any time. Somebody suggested Peter Sellers. We did a whole broadcast on him. If you would like to find something else on our live broadcasts, let us know. If you would like to be a patron, there are ways to do that. Patreon.com/Velveteen Lounge.
Yep. Sorry, replying to a couple of comments.
Take your time. If you just want to drop a line on us and let us know what's happening, we appreciate that too because we have to react to everything. But it is so fantastic that you can join us on a Sunday afternoon, wherever you are in the world.
I think I'm caught up. Okay.
Yep, good.
Yeah, all right, go ahead.
And we can deliver some fun stuff to you every week.
He's still talking.
No matter where you are.
He's still talking.
I'm not. But it is fantastic to see you every time. And as always, no matter where you are, we will see